Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Victory Drive. This week, got on Ashley again, and we get into some law enforcement topics, especially, surrounding the whole ICE thing and get her opinion on all that and what she's been up to in law enforcement world. But we start this episode off recapping our trip to Kansas, and it was just an absolute blast. So we start out with some good hunting talk, talking about Kansas, hunting whitetails there, and then it goes into some law enforcement talk, about the ICE situation in Minneapolis, the small ICE situation up there, and law enforcement stuff on her end. I do kind of just want to preface this right away in the intro here. This episode was recorded before the Alex Pretty shooting and everything that transpired from that. So there's going to be more to come on this topic. I'm actually going to get together with my brother Jordan this weekend. I'm recording this intro January 28th, actually Wednesday morning. I woke up early as fuck to get this episode done and intro done and edited and put out there. But I was kind of waiting for some more stuff to transpire from all this. So I was waiting quite a while to do this intro, but this episode was recorded last week, like before the Alex Pretty shooting. And, I guess I'm going to do it. Like I said, we're going to do a whole episode breakdown with, Jordan this weekend. That'll come out next week. And, I think so. That's the plan right now, hopefully barring any crazy interruptions or, cancellation, with, him being in, police academy and everything else. Stuff might come up, but as of right now, we're planning for that. But basically, this is not good. In my very first opinion on this whole thing, not good. Not a good look for ICE. Not a good look for the Trump administration, especially when you have Kash Patel going on there saying you don't have a right to carry a firearm during a protest, and that he had a gun and he had 2 fully loaded magazines, and using all this inflammatory language towards him carrying a gun. Like, Pretty didn't even, as far as the videos I've seen, Pretty didn't even go for the gun. It was stripped off of him by a ICE officer, and then he ran off, and then they killed him. Pretty crazy situation. But the blowback from the politicians, like, afterwards, the Trump admin, Trump himself being what he's said is going to be the most 2A president in history. And that is 100% not turning out to be true. Yes. All right. Yeah. And then you say that and you start coming to the kind of the defense of Pretty a little bit. Is we're getting from both sides here as, 2A people or pro-gun people. You condemn Trump and what he's saying about Pretty carrying a gun and basically deserving to get shot for carrying a gun during a protest. And then you say, like, that's not good, Trump bad. And then you get it from the left and they're like, oh, see, you get what you fucking vote for, you piece of shit. And they start calling you a piece of shit because you voted for Trump. And it's like, okay. So then it makes you want to just double down and be like, oh yeah, I got Trump's back kind of thing. But I just can't. And as gun pro 2A people, we can't have his back on this. Trump has done some good things, but this is not good. This is not one of them. Like I've said a million times before, the ICE stuff, the immigration issue has to be controlled, but this is not a good situation. And the rhetoric from Trump and Patel and Kristi Noem and all these other fucking cowards, it's not good, and we need to call it out. We need to stand on principle here. I'm still of the mindset myself, like, it's hard to even consider myself a Republican because I'm still of the mindset that all politicians are cunts and cowards. And that's just kind of where my mind is at with politicians in general. Like, everyone, I give every person the benefit of the doubt and put them, like, right here, like in, good standing. I respect them right from the rip because that's the right thing to do. But politicians, I don't. I don't. They're way down here. Like, I look at them like the piece of shit slime that they are until they prove me differently, you know. But everyone else, I look at them as like normal people, respect, whatever else. Politicians are way down the totem pole, like way, 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 way down until they prove themselves to be, you know, respected. And, you know, so all politicians suck, and they lie, and they deceit, and they are in it for themselves, and they're in it for their own gain. All of them, every single one of them, that I know of. Besides, I don't know, maybe Thomas Massey might get a pass. He might get a pass. Maybe Rand Paul might get a little bit of a pass. But as of right now, like, all politicians fucking suck. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. And this is not good from the Trump administration. Not a good look. So that's kind of my first little overview on the Alex Pretty situation. Like I said, we're going to do more of a breakdown on it later on and get the full detailed stuff, backstory, everything that we can do. Anyways, moving on. Victory Drive is brought to you by Grizzly Coolers. Nice segue there. You know, great coolers. Awesome. I love them. They're the best coolers made in America, in my opinion. And, you know, they'll last you a lifetime as long as you treat them well. And even if you don't treat them well, they'll still last you because they rule. They fucking rule. So if you guys are in the market for a new cooler, or, you know, you just like want some new apparel, some Grizzly apparel, whatever it is, box blind, coolers, drinkware, all the things, check out grizzlycoolers.com. Use code WCB at checkout to save some money and support the network. I'm just going to leave it at that. Nice, short, and sweet. Check out Victory Drive's my Patreon, patreon.com, search bar Victory Drive Podcast. Boom, there it is. If you want to help support the show directly, that would be greatly appreciated. And, you know, YouTube and all that shit, we're doing all that stuff. I did set up a different YouTube channel called Victory Drive Podcast, parentheses, audio, just audio stuff on YouTube too. So we'll see if that does anything. And that's pretty much about it. We do have some trade shows coming up. I've talked about them before, last episode. They're in March. Iowa Show, Iowa Deer Classic, Illinois, Wisconsin. Yeah, that's where we're going. And then we have the African Clinic coming up here pretty soon too. Keep an eye out for that stuff. This intro is getting pretty long. I don't want to keep it going anymore. So without further ado, hopefully you guys enjoy the episode. And yeah, fuck politicians. All right, here we go. I'm going to put a Grizzly in. I need to switch to Alp.
Why do you just switched to Grizzly though?
I know,
like
but
those.
yeah, they're good, but Alps are so much better. You have to buy them online, so I've been doing it. But
You have to buy Alps online?
yeah,
That's where you were getting them before?
well,
Do they have the really good smelling fruit one that I liked?
I think so. Well, they have one like that. The one you really liked was Velo, or maybe it wasn't.
Those wild berry velos I hate the smell of.
Well, what the hell were? Maybe they were. Maybe they were the Alps because Matt gave them to me. Actually, I'm pretty sure they were because Matt gave them to me.
Yeah,
he didn't really care for them, the berry ones, so that's where I got them.
I thought they were yellow on top.
It might have been citrus. Is that what they were?
No. It was sweet. It was like if I had to name it, it'd be like dragon fruit.
Yeah.
Dragon fruit.
It had to have been Alp then, because with Grizzly, all I got was wintergreen, and I like them because they're in the gas station.
Yeah, having to order them.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever stop?
No.
At least you know it.
You know what I'm drinking?
Oh, what'd you get
that?
for this one?
Happy Dad Hard Seltzer.
Happy Dad?
Yeah.
It's a seltzer?
Death Row Records grape.
No way. Sick.
Makes you wonder.
NWA.
Yeah,
They were Death Row, right?
I think
Records?
so.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder. It's like, is it owned by NWA like thing, or is it just NWA one because it's grape flavored?
It's grape flavored?
Mm-hmm. Either way, I saw it. I'm like, I respect it.
Well, now I want to try
get
it.
Okay.
I didn't know you got a seltzer. I got my seltzers, my Nooners. Uh-oh.
Ugh.
What's wrong with it?
That's...
Is that purple drank?
Woo! No. It's like a... It's not what I was expecting.
Is it? What's it like? Cough syrup? Is it good?
I won't get it again.
You won't.
No, but
Will
it's
I
not
like
sweet
it?
enough for me.
Oh, gosh. We're so far away.
I can't throw it. Here, come try it.
You know what that tastes like?
It's like
That tastes like when I leave a sparkling water that's lightly flavored out in the car all day, and then I get back in and I see if it's still good. That's what that tastes like.
Yeah, it tastes like
Ugh, that aftertaste is not great either.
You know what it tastes like? Actually, you know those little freezy pops you get at the baseball game, the ones you twist in half and they come in two pieces.
Yeah.
It tastes like that if they were super watered down.
Yeah, it's not like sweet.
No, it's not sweet.
Good choice, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Better than your Four Loko.
I really thought like maybe the Death Row record folks.
They just bought the name.
They probably just
that
paid
has
Death
no-
There's no way that a bunch of
there's
black
some-
dudes are sitting around. They're like, this tastes like something I would drink.
No, that's some
Right.
old rich white dude in a suit. Been like, stamp this name on, see if it sells.
You think Death Row Records is ran by white dudes?
I don't think there is a Death Row Records anymore. Is there? That's like long history, isn't it? I don't know. I've just seen the movies, all the documentaries about all the people that have been killed, and Death Row Records is always brought up.
The current owner of Death Row Records brand is Snoop Dogg.
Snoop owns it?
Who acquired it in February of 2022 from Blackstone Group, which that sounds like a bunch of white guys.
You think Snoop made this drink?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. He's like, hell yeah.
All right,
I'll
Snoop.
fucking make some money on that.
We know you don't drink it. You just smoke your
To revive the
blunts.
iconic. Oh yeah, because he wanted to revive the iconic label through ownership of the master recordings like Dr. Dre's and Tupac's. Remains complex and disputed, with Snoop Dogg aiming to control the entire catalog as he relaunches the label. Yeah, so this is him getting it into.
Wow.
Oh, Suge Knight ran it before. Suge
He's
Knight.
dead now, right?
No, I think he's in prison.
Oh, okay. Well, so
Either way.
he's gone.
He might be. He might be dead. He might be in prison. But yeah, so Death Row Records is now owned by Snoop Dogg, and he teamed up with Happy Dad. Matter of fact, now I'm talking about it. It's delicious and great.
Do you like Snoop? You Snoop
Yeah,
fan?
hell yeah. Snoop's awesome.
That's good. I like Snoop.
I like all those rappers like from the 80s and stuff when they
It was real.
Well, yeah, for one, it was real. And for two, when they turn their fame and fortune into like legitimate businesses, like Snoop Dogg's actually fucking smart.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's high all the time.
Like
but he's
50
smart.
Cent.
Like, 50 Cent, same thing.
Yeah.
Super smart dude. I like that. I like when they do that, Otherwise, like, I don't like to see like when people take their celebrity and stuff like that and then just like do drugs,
Get
a bunch of
crazy.
dumb stuff, and just get crazy. Like there's a time for that, sure. But Snoop Dogg, he just smokes a lot of weed and I think he does good things. I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know if he'd like me.
Oh, I bet you guys would get along just fine.
That's nice.
I think you would. I loved when he was on the Super Bowl and he did like, I don't know what you want to call them, Easter eggs or whatever. Like they said that he couldn't, because he's a Crip, and he couldn't do something. He couldn't have a handkerchief out of his back pocket because that's like a Crip thing.
Well, it's Crips and Bloods. They both did it. Yeah, different
And
colors.
so his outfit for the Super Bowl halftime show, he wore a tracksuit that is blue bandana.
Yeah.
Like it's the, whatever that pattern's called.
Yeah, bandana.
And then he
Blue
had,
red.
oh wait, no, that was Kendrick Lamar. He's also a Crip, and he had Serena Williams, famous tennis player, doing the Crip walk dance. Like
They all do that
those
stuff, though.
I like it. Like you get told you can't do stuff for I think, stupid reasons.
What, representing a gang?
Well, not...
You're a cop, Ashley.
Not
like,
in
what
that
are you talking
sense,
about?
but I mean, like, they just, you know, you hear about all these big stars and everything, and they, whether it's a company that wanted to work with them or whatever, and they basically give them a script and they can't be themselves, and there's like no authenticity. Yeah, maybe it's not great, like the gang portion part of it, but also it's like they went out there and they're like, fuck you guys for telling me what to do. You wanted me here, and so I'm not going to play all the games. All the rules. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it.
Yes, I get the whole like gang thing. Like, that's not great. But you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. A little bit of stick it to the man kind of thing.
Like
still.
Kendrick Lamar's song about Drake.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's getting sued up the wazoo. I don't even know where that's at. But when that all happened, he's getting sued up the wazoo, and then he goes to Super Bowl and just basically sticks up a big middle finger. Like, I'm entertained by that. Let's put it that way. I'm entertained by it.
Well, it's just people exercising their First Amendment rights, and you got to respect that to an extent.
Yeah.
Speaking of First Amendment rights, how do you feel about ICE?
Oh, your dad was just asking us about it.
I know.
At Sunday supper. What do you mean? What I think of it?
Just catch up on current events real quick before we get into Kansas.
Well, we're close to Minnesota. We
Yeah.
literally live in the county that borders state line. We go to Minnesota off. I didn't buy a car there. We went and looked at cars there.
Yep.
I'm in Rochester, Minnesota very often. Minnesota's fucked up in so many ways. We were kind of talking about it, and you kind of opened my eyes, like, why is ICE there right now? I don't know. I'm like, well, why not? Minneapolis is huge. And you're like, well, I figured there was better, bigger fish to fry first. But maybe it was because of the whole Somalian thing. They're like, you know what? Let's just get it checked off the list. We'll jump down a couple lines and cross off Minneapolis. But yeah, go get them.
Well, the thing is, like, granted, yes, there are illegals up there for sure. There's illegals
everywhere,
all across the country. But I just figured they would have done more of like a circular pattern, you know, like had all their efforts focused in like an area, you know, the South maybe, where there's probably a higher population of illegals. And then they'd kind of start working their way back up north, especially in the wintertime. Like, I'm sorry, illegals don't hang out in the north during the middle of winter that much.
You don't think they're at the Menards parking lot when it's -30 out?
There's no work going on for them, you know? Like, construction shuts down. They're not building roads right now. They're doing all that road construction, all that stuff down in the south because they don't get winters like we do. But also, it's like, I don't know, do you really want to be nabbing up illegals off the, you know, it's like, I like that they're deporting them, obviously. I don't think if you're an illegal, you should be here. However, it's like, I really liked it when they were focusing more on like the bigger fish first and like getting them out of here. I'm sure there's still a lot of them running around, so it's like, it's kind of, I don't know.
Who knows, though? We don't know why they chose it. There could be a reason that we may never know. That's a very good reason why they're there. You know, I'm sure they didn't exactly want everyone to be able to draw out where they're going next either.
Oh, yeah. But it's optics, right? So politics is like a lot about optics. And the thing is, in Minneapolis specifically, the Somalian invasion up there is insane, but they are still, last time I checked, they're still under refugee status, so they're technically here legally. So it's like the best way you need to do that is just you need to try them and convict them and get them the fuck out of here. After that vacates they vacate their refugee status when they're doing stuff like that, or just rescind the refugee status. Period. They don't need to have it. Like, it's they're here on the good graces of the American people. And they don't need we don't need refugees here. Like, we're opening our doors. Like, the thing with refugees for me, and I think that's the whole point of the status, is that you live in a shithole, you're being persecuted by shitty people in that shithole country. We'll welcome you in as long as you're being a productive member of society, trying your best, working hard, trying to assimilate into American culture, because this is America, not Somalia, and trying to, you know, like, doing your best. Like, we're doing you a favor, we're doing you a solid by letting you stay here under protected refugee status. If you're going to take advantage of it and take advantage of the taxpayers, take advantage of our welfare state, our welfare systems, then you don't deserve to be here, and you need to go back to your shithole country and try to make that better. Then, you know, it's like, if you're gonna assimilate and you want to be here, then great. If you don't want to actually be an American, then get the fuck out. Like, there's no reason for you to be a refugee anymore. You don't like it. You don't like America. You don't like Americans. You're just going to sit here and take advantage of them. Then you need to get the fuck out of here. And we need to rescind their refugee status if that's what they're doing. So that's kind of how I feel about that whole situation.
They left Somalia because of XYZ reasons, but then they create a mini Somalia in Minneapolis. And what's the guy's name? He's all over the place. The one
Nick Shirley.
Okay, Nick Shirley.
Yeah.
So is there anything, I'm unaware. I haven't been following it very close. Is there anything happening right now with all those millions and millions of dollars? Is there something, is it being investigated?
Oh, yeah.
It is?
Yeah. The federal government's investigating it because it's such big fraud. But that stuff takes so long.
Yeah. But at least it takes so long, so thank God now it's started.
Right, yeah. But it would be a lot faster if the Minnesota government would do something about it. But Tampon Tim and fucking, I don't know, fuckboy Fry, who's calling that, they're not going to do anything about it. Like, they were well aware of the situation a long time ago, and they did nothing about it, so.
Yeah, when it comes to Minnesota, like, there's a lot, we fly out of Minneapolis. That's where we fly out of. 99% of the time if we're going somewhere. Rochester is where I go do our Sam's Club hauls, and I like to buy clothes there because there's no tax on it. But like there's been several concerts I've wanted to go to in, the cities there, and I won't go to them. And my not so little cousin, she's 22 now. She's gone to a couple, and, I had her location the whole time, and I was so weary about it. I didn't want to go up there. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, Minnesota's a fucking shithole. You're not protected there. If something happens to you, and I missed out on Lil Wayne. That's the concert I wanted to go there. And I wanted to go so bad, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I'm not going. First off, Lil Wayne's going to attract a certain kind of crowd. Mm-hmm. There's going to be white girls like me that grew up on Lil Wayne, but then there's probably going to be other people, and I'm not about to be in Minnesota and be at a concert where something could happen like that, because you're just in so many different realms unprotected if something like that happens. And so I try and stay out of Minnesota for the most part. I think I mentioned this on the podcast once before, but I went up to Minnesota and did some defensive tactics training. Mm-hmm. And I was the only Iowa law enforcement person there. Everybody else was Minnesota. And this was, I think 2 years ago. So this is after everything has happened up there. This is after,
George Floyd.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And they had to change all of their defensive techniques. Not all of them, but it was heavily talked about how we don't do this anymore. You have to do this and make sure you never do that. And, you hear about, and I don't know what cases there are to go with it. I'm sure if I did some research of my own, I'd find them, but you just hear about it. It's like, if you're in a self-defense situation in Minnesota and you do have to, you have a firearm and you shoot somebody or you end their life, whatever it is in self-defense, this is the way it's been explained to me. You better hope you were shot first if you're going to win it in court. Mm-hmm. And, that's just not the way it should be.
Especially like a guy like me, like if I were to carry in Minnesota and I get shot and I pull my gun and defend myself and, kill the other person, I'm still fucked because I don't have a Minnesota carry license. Yeah. And that whole thing just pisses me off too about the gun thing in Minnesota. It's like, they are so strict. Like they don't want, they're the worst.
Yeah. And
they're
that's
the worst
one place,
northern state. And it's really sad.
There's some hot spots where if I go, like if I leave the house and, I'm not carrying, I forgot, I'm going to turn around and go back home. Minnesota's one of them. Mm-hmm. There's a couple places in Iowa too, and what is the worst about it is that's one of the number one places you want to carry.
Right.
Because of all the shit that happens. Yeah. It's just.
No, it's gone.
Go get them ice, tanker. Go round up whoever you need to round up, get them the fuck out. If they don't deserve to be here, if they're not here legally, and especially if they're here illegally and committing crimes, get them the fuck out.
Yeah. I think a lot, and not all of them obviously, but a lot of them have taken advantage of the system, and they just don't. I feel like they've lost that right to have that refugee status. Like they're holding up.
Oh, so the Somalians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in illegals, like there should be no, at this point in our, there was a time where I was like a lot more liberal on my thoughts on illegals. I'm like, oh man, maybe we, fix the immigration system, then offer some sort of like amnesty type situation to some illegals, depending, if they can prove that they've been here working and, being productive and stuff like that, then maybe they can have, expedited citizenship. But that's gone. Like we've let the floodgates open for too long. Mm-hmm. So there's just no more there's no more empathy for illegals in my mind, because it's like, listen guys, like too many of you took advantage of it. Now we have to reset.
Yeah.
I still think we need to reform the immigration system. Like there needs to be a certain amount, like a certain recourse, like an expedited, maybe not an expedited version of citizenship, but it needs to be a little bit more streamlined. There's a lot of holes in the immigration system. There needs to be a lot of those holes plugged up, and it needs to be more streamlined to make it a little bit easier to vet them and then let them in if there's no reason not to, kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like there has to be a system. We can't just have open borders. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like otherwise, we're not a country. America's not America if we don't have an enforceable border. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like no country has ever done that. Like if you start getting invaded by anyone, like they put a kibosh to it, no matter where you're at. And America has been, a bastion of freedom for such a long time, where it's like, I get a lot of people want to live here, and I'm more than happy to like have an immigration system that's more streamlined, but it's like we have to reset. We got to kick them all out, reset, and go from there. Yeah. Like there's just no, and the same with the Somalians, and same with refugee status. Like we got to stop letting in so many refugees from all these third world countries. Like they're not making America better. Like I talked about this with Jeremy Bond, right? When we were talking about females in the combat arms and stuff like that. If you can't sit there and tell me how it's going to make America better, then it shouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we need to have empathy, because, being a predominantly Christian nation, we are called by Christ to have empathy and be, kind to others. And, but there needs to be a process, and we got to make sure we're not letting in crazy third worlders that are going to bring a third world mentality into America. Like you need to assimilate. At the end of the day, you need to assimilate into American culture if you're not going to do that, or if you have if you're practicing a religion that doesn't allow you to assimilate, then you don't need to be here. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm never going to change from that. Like if you want to be living in America, you have to become an American. Yeah,
I think when it comes to are they making America better? That's not really my stance on it, but I think about it as, if somebody invites you into their home, your house burned down, you have all your belongings were burned up, and you have somebody that says, you know what, we've got an extra room, come stay with us while you get back on your feet, and, we will help you and support you. You are going to be on your P's and Q's in that house. You're going to pick up after yourself. You're going to help with the dishes. You're going to help cook meals. You're going to pitch in where you can until you can go out on your own when you've built your life back up.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're going to come in as a visitor to someone else's home and make that home better.
Yes.
While you're there.
And so,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to make it better.
Yeah.
You need to do your best.
And if you're not only not doing that, but you're causing issues, making it worse, and again, creating a mini nation, if you will, of what you are escaping. Okay, well, let's revisit the books then, because something's not adding up here then.
Yeah. Like you go into someone else's house and, are taking advantage of their good graces, then you start the room on fire that you're staying in. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. It's like I think that's a good analogy. And that's kind of how we should be looking at it. It's like if you want to come into this country, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You have to have a job. You have to participate. You don't get welfare. Like you don't get welfare. There's no recourse, in my opinion, for illegals or refugees to be on any type of welfare system whatsoever.
No.
You get zero money from us, the taxpayers, until you're an actual citizen. And once you go through the process, because I don't think people should just come through, sign some papers, and be like, I'm a citizen now. It needs to be, like 2, 3, 4 years of a vetting process while you're here to make sure that you are staying on your P's and Q's and you are assimilating American culture and you are actually trying to be an American. You're holding a job and you're participating in society. Once you prove all that, then here you go. Here's your citizenship. I'm totally fine with that. And then maybe you can apply for some sort of welfare if you come upon hard times. But until then, sorry, bud.
Yeah, I think in order to fix that, though, look at our own American citizens. You just explained a good portion of what they're doing, though.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
the roots go deep. It's
the welfare state goes deep. Yeah, 100%. That needs to be revamped for sure. The welfare system.
Many Americans,
but even at that, Americans, that's what the welfare is here for, is Americans, not illegals.
Yeah, I get it. If anybody's going to abuse it, it should be our own.
100%. Yeah, I'm not saying you should abuse it, but if there is going to be fraud committed in America, it should
at
be
least
by
don't
American
let it be refugees,
citizens,
right? Yeah,
that's kind of where my head's at. If I'm paying for anyone to commit fraud, I'd be a lot happier being like, well, he's American, that's an American citizen, and whatever else. And I think they should still be their welfare should be forfeited if they are taking advantage of it. But at the same time, it's well, illegals and refugees should not have welfare whatsoever. You come into this country and you can't hold a job, you can't learn the language, you can't do any of that stuff, then get the hell out of here. Go back to wherever you came from and figure it out from there. Make your country better. Figure out how to make your country better.
That's not what they're here for, though.
No, they're here for the handouts. And that's the thing. Milton Friedman said it really well. He had a really good speech on this where he's like, prior to I think it was the 1930s or something like that, it was super easy to immigrate in America. Immigration was super easy, and we all knew that because a lot of when the liberals say oh, this country was built on by immigrants. Okay, sure, yes, 100%. For one, they're European immigrants, so that's different. For two, those are immigrants that came here. They wanted to work. They wanted a better life. They wanted to make this country better and set themselves and the generations that came after them up for success.
That's not what's happening.
And for three, there was not a welfare state. It was just non-existent. The welfare state back then to get welfare back then was very hard. It was more community-based welfare. Oh, hey, my house burned down. I need some help. Your neighbor would take you in and help you out. That's the welfare. It was much more localized. With federal welfare being so rampant, that's a huge reason why the immigration system needs to crack down on immigrants. Because Milton Friedman, he's an economist, and he said, back then it was just non-existent. Now we have welfare up the wazoo. That's different. Yeah. Now you're becoming a burden on society. You're not learning the language. You're not being a productive member of society. You are taking resources that you're not putting into.
Yeah.
At least with American citizens, you'd be hard pressed to find an American citizen that didn't contribute to society at one point in time in their life before they're on welfare. So it's kind of one of those things. They come over this country and they put zero into society, and they only take from society. That's not good. That's not good. That's a leech. You need to pull them off and flick them back in the river.
Preach.
That's that. Anyways, I'm glad we got caught up. I'm glad we solved world issues. I'm glad we made the country better. We fixed a lot of problems right there.
Yeah, we did. Good table talk.
Yeah. But we went to Kansas recently.
We did. Well, it's been over a month now. We had it on the calendar to do this podcast right after we got back, but we were also gone for 10 days. And when you're gone for that long, you got to catch the fuck up on life, and you get back home. And
for some reason, the hardest guest to sit down with is my own wife in my own house. But
it is.
Well, we were gone for 10 days. We had each other for those 10 days, and probably one of the last things you want to do is sit here and talk to me.
What?
Yeah.
That's not it at all. I love this. No, it was a great 10 days too. We went down to Southern Iowa. That's where we started. We took the trailer too. So that was really cool. We got 4 podcast episodes out of that trip. They're all out now.
Yeah,
Kansas, Peanut, Mike Miller.
It was great because it pushed us through the holidays.
Yeah, that was really nice. When we were first looking at it, we're like, always have podcasts in the bank. And that way, if something comes up on a week, well, we're only a week ahead now. But that's okay because it was the holidays and it was really nice to be able, to be with family and do the holiday stuff and not have to try and get guests or anything like that during the holidays. So that was nice.
Well, it's also really hard to get guests during the holidays. Everyone else is busy too.
It's like, it's family time and holiday tradition time. Mm-hmm. We had a great holiday season.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We just had our last Christmas get together Friday.
Yep.
So it's tree's still up.
We're leaving that up until after Charlie's birthday.
Oh, is that what's happening?
I guess.
I mean, I'm totally fine with that. First off, I love it, and we got it up late. And second off, I don't want to take it down. Might just leave it up all year.
It's kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
Pulling that thing up and down and around all over the place.
I shouldn't even be complaining. You're the one that pulled it down from the attic.
Yeah.
I just mean the decorating and the cleaning up and whatever else. So yeah, we went and I got to finally go to deer camp in southern Iowa. This was your third one, right? Mm-hmm. I think, did I want to go last year but couldn't? Or is this the first?
No, this is the first year.
This first year I was even invited, I guess.
Well, you didn't want to go before because it's December in Iowa, and you're like, I'm going.
Oh, yeah, right. I grew some balls this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Because you wanted to go to Kansas. And if you want to go to Kansas, then you have to go to Southern Iowa Deer Camp because we're going straight to Kansas from Southern Iowa Deer Camp. So
I need a good pat on the back, though, because although we got pretty lucky with a lot of the weather, I was out in a lot of weather that I usually wouldn't be out in.
Well, deer camp wasn't bad. It was cold, but we were doing a lot of deer drives and walking and stuff like that. We were only cold for small amounts of time.
Yeah, I was an idiot.
Like short term, periodically kind of thing.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that the first morning. I'm getting ready and I'm like checking the temperature. I don't know, was it 20s? Probably. Yeah. So I'm putting on every layer I own, every thermal layer, every, 3.0, whatever. I am layered the fuck up. I'm talking like 7-8 layers deep. And then, I should have asked more questions, I guess. But we go out and we start pushing. And I start fucking sweating. And I'm trying to film and everything. And I'm like, whatever. And I think at one point I told you, I was like, I got a fucking shadow layer. And he was like, oh, you can put the coat in our pack or whatever. And I remember at one point when we were really tromping through, I'm like, I'm going to fucking keel over. I'm so hot in all of these layers right now. And I'm, huffing and puffing, walking through, still trying to film. And so I learned pretty quick, like, okay, deer drives, if you're pushing, don't wear every layer you own.
Well, it's also one of those things where you can't really tell it. You have to do it to know it. Because everyone's different. Like
I probably
for me,
wouldn't have listened,
Yeah, I know you wouldn't to. But it's fucking 20 degrees outside. I'm staying warm. Like, I'd rather be hot than cold. And then you start getting hot, and then you start getting really, really hot, and then you're like, fuck this.
Well, the worst is then we were on the receiving end. We were sitting, and somebody else was pushing, and I'm sitting in sweat-soaked layers.
Not good. You really just got to bring it with, and then tough it out when you are sitting.
Yeah.
It's really what you got to do. So,
but that was a lot of fun. Never done anything like a deer drive. I've obviously edited the footage you brought home from 2 years ago. So yeah, it was interesting. It was
in that video. You're going to do that, and then put that the Southern Iowa Deer Camp. I think is going to be a really good Patreon yearly series for that.
I don't want to try and edit it enough that it's good for YouTube because it'll be a lame ass video.
Well, I want to make it really good quality. Obviously, we're gonna have it our quality, but we don't want to cut out all the shit that YouTube doesn't like to see.
Yeah, is that what you're getting at? What I would have to censor it wouldn't be as good of a video. So I like that for just Patreon. Because
that's good. Like the hunting public, they do deer drive videos, and they do a good job of it.
And theirs are on YouTube.
Yeah, they do a good job making it YouTube friendly, but I'm not like that. Like I don't want to do that. Like I've seen some of their videos, and I'm like, this is fucking lame and gay kind of thing. Like they have to blur it. They pan down, and they have to black and white filter the blood and stuff like that. I'm like, that's stupid. I don't like it.
And I already, for what we have put out, which I have so much more to put out, but I have to think about the reels. So almost all the reels, with TikTok, it's like fuck, we've been flagged how many times for that? We've gotten flagged for, you know, a gun hanging on the wall in the backdrop of a video or whatever it is. So I always have to pay attention to the reels on that and anything else we put out. And then it's like, okay, well, I want this one. It's a really good reel, but it can only go on Facebook and Instagram. Otherwise, we're going to get a strike. And so there's already a lot of censorship that has to go in. And even with the podcast clips, you know, things that are said, there's just already so much censorship that goes into the stuff that we put out on social media.
Yep.
So it's really refreshing when I can just sit down and make a feral video of what it's really like you were there with us and not have to worry about shit. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I am excited to edit that video and put it on Patreon because that last one was, you know, you had deer fucking flipping and, you know, it was wild. It's the Wild West.
It is the Wild West.
It's insane. So
yeah, deer drives are so much fun and they get pretty hectic, but like we do it pretty darn safe, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, it's still, you know, deer drives and
yeah,
you know, it's just one of those things where deer drives, it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Right.
And I just don't want to deal with the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I love bow hunting and working class. They're the bow hunter podcast, you know, and everything else. I get all that. And like bow hunting is just naturally a nicer way to kill deer for like YouTube and stuff.
Right.
Unfortunately, the realm that we're playing in with guns, there's social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and especially TikTok are already very anti-gun. Mm-hmm. And when you start hunting and killing deer with guns and you see them, like, especially if they're on the run, people are like, oh, that's unethical or this, that, and the other. And you see deer, like, you know, nosedive and flip and stuff like that. It's like, it gets for normie eyes, it gets pretty reckless, especially when people are used to seeing, you know, Drury Outdoors out of a, you know, not knocking them by any means. They do a very good job. But Drury Outdoors out of a box blind shooting deer with a muzzleloader, like that's a much different situation than, you know, conducting a deer drive and shooting 30 deer in one push.
Right.
Like that's a different story.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those things where Patreon is great for that footage and social media. They already hate us. I got knocked on Facebook already again. I didn't even know I wasn't, you know. So, but anyways, like they knocked me again. So it's just kind of, it is what it is. You know, it kills your discoverability, but whatever, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, Southern Iowa Deer Camp was awesome. It was fun. It was short. We were there 2 nights. Mm-hmm. We pulled in 11 p.m. Friday, went out all day Saturday, podcasted Saturday night. Did we go out Sunday morning?
Yeah, we ended up going out Sunday morning.
It was brief. And then right after we got back from the morning hunt, we packed up the trailer and started heading to Kansas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we drove from Southern Iowa all the way to Kansas. Got there at a pretty decent time, actually.
Hit some sketchy roads leaving deer camp, though. Right on the Missouri border. Well, I've got some videos from that I need to put out. We had the trailer and where we stayed, the Airbnb we stayed at for deer camp. There was only, one way out, and it was gravel road uphill, and it was all ice.
It never fails. Missouri has the worst roads in the winter. I don't know what it is, but literally, like, we were on the Iowa side of the Iowa-Missouri border. We turned to head south, and literally right when we got into Missouri is just ice on the road, just complete fucking ice. And you can tell, like, the Iowa plows and stuff, they salted the gravel roads or, got rid of the ice. Missouri, they did none of that. Like, they just don't care. Like, they just let the ice run. They're like, fuck them.
I wanted to film it, so I was literally holding the camera and closing my eyes as Jacob's going up the hill. I was like, fuck.
Well, I got this truck in this big-ass trailer, and there's this big hill, and I'm like, well, that's all ice. If I start spinning out on the hill going up, I'm fucked. So I put it in 4-wheel drive and just, try to keep my speed up and try not to start slipping. Because if I start slipping, then I'm backing up the whole way back to Iowa, basically.
Yeah. We made it, though, so that's good. Had a fun drive there. Hit up a restaurant right at the Missouri border. Met some weird dude.
You remember what it's called? It was like Buddy's Place or something like that?
Buddy's Place, yes.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Great waitress, a small, like, mom and pop type bar grill thing. We were there at a really weird time too, but we needed a bite to eat, so there was like nobody in there. This random old dude comes in. You can tell he's a regular. You know, the staff there is just a cook and a waitress. They're talking to him like he's a regular, and then he finally starts hooting and hollering at us some, and asks Jacob. He's like, "You want a beer?" Jacob's like, "No, we're driving. Thanks though. I really appreciate it." He's like, "You don't want a beer?" And he would not take no. What about a shot? What about a shot? And he was trying to think of Fireball, and he could not for the life of him figure out what the shot was called. And so yeah, that was a fun little place on the way.
Yeah, he's trying to get me to drink with him, and I'm like, I'm driving. Like, I have all day to drive yet, bud. And he's like, "Oh, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine." And then you were trying to signal to the waitress to get me like a virgin type shot.
Yeah.
Of like just Red Bull or something like that. And she just was not getting it either.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let up. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I'll take a Bud Light or a Busch Light or something like that. I think it was Busch Light.
Yeah, it was a fucking
Bud Light. What the fuck?
A1.
What the hell was that all about? I was like, I'll just take a Busch Light. And then I got the Busch Light and I just chugged it. And it did taste really good, actually. But I just drank it really fast. I'm like, all right, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. See you later.
He was bragging about how he's been on welfare like his whole life.
Yeah.
So you kind of bought your own beer.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he's a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
But like I said, if anyone's going to be on welfare, it should be an American citizen like him. So
Yeah. So yeah, we get to small town hunts with Peanut in Kansas. Got there in the evening Sunday, which was really great because we got to meet the hunters that were already there and kind of hang out for the evening and get to bed at a good time to get up early. Get up pretty early there to hunt. Would we get up like 4:30 every day? If I wanted my coffee prior.
Mm-hmm. We were out the door by 6 every day, every morning. So
sometimes 5:30.
Sometimes 5:30, 5:36 right around there, depending on where we're going.
And I can't be rushed in the morning. I gotta, and I, with all the cameras and everything. But great news is,
girls just take longer to get ready than guys.
Well, I didn't really. I always look like a homeless person when I went out in the morning. I'd sleep on the way. But great news is that great filming that whole trip. We were there 6 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm excited to get that video done and out there.
Hey, good job, Ashley.
Thanks.
You did a great job.
It was fun.
It was good. It was really fun. I know we pretty much did. We break it down at all on those episodes? I'm trying to remember. We didn't do a great breakdown every time. We
on the
kind of
podcast
touched
episodes?
on. Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But like basically, honestly, I don't. We can pretty much sum it down pretty easily. Actually, day 1 through 6, we didn't see much for bucks. Like day 2. Yeah, it's day 2, I think. Yeah,
that
day
one
2.
You were questioning.
Day 2 in the morning,
yeah.
We got in this blind and we snuck in there. And Mike was like, "Hey, you're gonna get in there. I'm gonna drop you off back here. You're gonna take this, this field edge down, hit the corner, just stay tight to the wood line, and walk it straight. And then the blind will be right in front of you. On the other side of the blind is, the feeder about, I think you said 150 to 200 yards away ish. Ended up being 166 yards because I ranged it, but we're having to stay tight to the wood line so the blind would break us up if our movement up. Snuck into the blind, got in there, got all set up. It's still dark. Got all set up and everything else, and light was starting to break, and I'm like, "Oh shit, there's deer out there, nice!" And I seen that buck. He's a nice buck. Like, he's a really nice 8-pointer, but I just couldn't. I was looking at him. I'm like, day 2, he's an 8-pointer. He's a nice 8-pointer, but he's probably, I was thinking like maybe 130 to 140 inches, and I just couldn't put his age past 3 or 4. And I'm like, that's a great deer, but I'm just not here. I didn't want to come to Kansas and shoot a 3 or 4 year old. I wanted to shoot something a little more mature. I didn't care about score. I just wanted to shoot something a little more mature, and I just couldn't get him past that 3 or 4 year age range. And I was watch him, and then he ended up working off. And I was like, I think I even said, like, I hope I don't come to regret that one, kind of thing, because he looked nice. He's really tall, kind of tight, but really tall, and just looked really good. He had a kicker off his G2. I'm like, he's gonna be a stud someday, maybe next year. And so I watched him work off, and then we ended up getting back to camp, and Peanut's like, "Was that one not big enough for you or something?" I'm like, well, I don't know. He looked like maybe he's like I don't know. Should I have? Like, I thought he was like a 3, maybe 4 year old, and right around like maybe 130, 140 inches. Like, yeah, that's a 40 inch 4 year old. I'm like, he's like, they're kind of wore down because of the rut. I'm like, should I have shot that one, Peanut, or what? He's like, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
He gave a smirk, and he's like, there's bigger.
Yeah.
Like, I think he kind of was like, kind of attaboy on that one. Like, good job holding out, because it was day 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, coming from Iowa, I'm like, I don't want to shoot something that is like not
Kansas standard.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that was a good buck, and I would have been happy. I would have taken him back home, but I wanted something a little bit different. I wasn't there for like that buck necessarily in Kansas.
And let's go back. I know you already podcasted if you've listened to the episode with Mike Miller, the turkey killer. But so we show up Sunday night, and there's this wonderful couple there from North Carolina, I believe. And they were a lot of fun. They were going to be heading out. They were engaged. He had got his buck like day 2. She was hunting as well, and she hadn't got hers yet. And Monday was her last day. And so we were kind of talking with them, and I didn't hear the conversation, but we met everybody. We met Mike, we met Taylor, met the hunters that were there. And then it was, I can't remember his name now. I'm sorry, sir, if you're listening.
The guy you're talking about?
Yeah.
Mike?
Oh yeah. His name was Mike. Mm-hmm. So what does he come up to you and say?
He's like, because Mike Miller was there, and he's like, oh man, that's Mike Miller. I'm like, nice. He's like,
he introduced
he's like, the turkey killer. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like,
he kills
you
turkeys.
like to kill turkeys. He's like, and Mike Miller's like,
yeah.
And I'm like,
he's so
cool. He's like, from Buck Commander. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, yeah, that checks out because you have a long beard and long hair. Like, great.
He did.
Oh
he looked like
awesome,
one of the Duck Dynasty guys.
Yeah, and then he ended up being our guide and stuff. But got to know Mike Miller obviously very well, and he's from the episode. If you haven't listened to the episode, you need to go back and listen to it because he has such great stories. But got to know him very well. But yeah, Mike Wagner, he was just like, just starstruck to an extent. Is great. Is funny, and he was a great guy. Like Mike, he's a great guy.
He was actually
super nice.
He's a sheriff's deputy in North Carolina, and so we were talking about that a bit. But I mean, we have gotten so lucky on every hunt we've gone on with our guides. I mean, we're friends with all of them, to this day. And
from South Africa. I try to keep up with Quentin in France. But the language barrier is tough. But luckily on Instagram, you can see translation. Each other. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I comment on his stuff. Like, nice shanty, bud.
He's got to see translate.
Yeah.
But, and so, just kind of the same thing. We went out with Mike, and as the days progress, you spend a lot of time with him in the car drives and everything else. And, you share moments. And, really, I really loved Mike. He was really awesome. And even the stories he shared on the podcast, that was just a fraction of probably what we got to hear. And so that was really, really cool to get to, I especially had no idea. I'm like, I don't even know what Buck Commander is. And then Jacob's like Duck Dynasty before then. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I know that.
It was actually after. So it was like,
oh, okay.
So the Robertson family, they did Duck Commander. Like that was their first business, and they made duck calls and shit. Mm-hmm. And then they did the Duck Dynasty on A&E, and then Buck Commander came afterwards, and then they came out with Strut Commander, which is their turkey line essentially. So
yeah. But this is the funniest thing. Mike was such a unique individual, and so we're sitting there on the couch, and I think we noticed it almost right away. Mike's got a flip phone.
Yep.
And so that was just a charismatic thing. It's like, hell yeah, he's just rocking a flip phone. But then I come out, and I've said it a million times, I am still, learning how to even fucking operate. We've got nice cameras now. And it's been so much trial and error, even just with podcast episodes. It's like, I'm learning everything. I'm learning from YouTube and chat GPT. So,
well, real quick, just to toot your horn a little bit too. It's like a lot of people do, like, it's one thing to learn how to be a videographer. And then it's a whole other thing to learn how to be a videographer and editor. Like a lot of times people, you have a main editor and then other videographers that just record. They just record shit. And then they hand it off to the editor that does it. That's his main thing, right? You're trying to learn all of this all at once, and it's a whirlwind of information. So
yeah, I wish I was a faster learner. But, it's just been...
What you're getting at with that is Mike helped you out a lot.
Yeah, so I'd come out and we got some Sony A6400s, and I was really trying to learn how to do everything manual on there because I got bit in the fucking ass with a lot of the France hunts because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I was like, oh, I've got this great lens, zooms out really far, and I'd be zoomed in on the roe deer. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be such good footage. Get back, throw the SD card in the laptop, and pull it up, and it's glitchy. I mean, it's like an awful picture. And I'm like, what happened? And Jordan was like, you've got it on autofocus, don't you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just fucking filming. It looked great on the screen.
Point and shoot, dude.
Yeah. And so then I was asking him, like, okay, well, like, Manny was like, well, it's a learning curve. And so for Kansas, I was pretty gung-ho, did some research and tried to really figure out the cameras prior. And then, of course, like with anything else, it's like the morning of, and I'm like fucking around with it. I'm like, oh, why is this not working right? This isn't looking good. And all of a sudden, Mike, he filmed for how many years? Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, and he'd kind of pipe up from the kitchen, drinking his, I don't know, apple cider vinegar potion. And he'd be like, well, change your f-stop to this and this. And I was like, what? I'm like, come back here. And so he helped me. So, he's sitting there with a flip phone, but he had such knowledge when it came to filming. And so I kept running things by him and talking about this and that. And that was just really cool. A very unique dynamic. That he's older.
He's like anti-technology, but
he's a good old boy. But yeah, all of a sudden he's just got
he's
this.
He's anti-technology, but has a wealth of knowledge with technology, essentially. So
that was a really fun thing with that. And yeah, I learned a lot because we'd go out in the blind in the morning. It's dark. And so I'm like, well, fuck, if a fucking buck comes out right now. And maybe I'm doing it completely wrong, but it's just what I figured out. So as the sun's rising and I've got the cameras on manual, I'm constantly changing my settings, looking at the feeder if one were to come in and seeing what it looks like, and which came in very good handy because, days 1 through 6, saw a shit ton of deer.
Oh, yeah.
That one time we were in the redneck blind.
Oh, geez. You're going to have some sick footage from that. We were literally
that was
surrounded.
Just
we
so
had
cool.
30, 40, 50 deer. I couldn't count them. It's like they're everywhere.
Everywhere. I'm just sitting there with the camera, and then that one doe came up, and she was just like staring straight at us. And you're like, don't move, Ashley. I'm sitting there like holding the camera like, okay.
She's staring right at us. Don't you fucking move.
Yeah.
You're going to blow it.
But it took us that long because so we get there, weather's whatever, and then it got warm. And I was excited for it. And then I quickly realized why I shouldn't be because we weren't seeing anything.
Nothing.
Like days 3 through 6, basically.
Basically, we had that
doe.
one really good hunt where we saw a shit ton of deer, but no big bucks, a lot of small bucks.
Yeah.
A lot of does, but it's just like, we seen a shit ton of deer that one day, but like outside of that, it's kind of like handfuls.
Yeah.
Handfuls here, handfuls there. But it was so warm. It was 60-something degrees.
We were in the redneck
middle of
blind.
December. This is nuts.
We go out there, and I didn't have like a lot of layers on or anything because I knew we would be in the redneck blind. But I mean, Jacob won't be cold at all, and I'll be cold. So I still was prepared. Fuck no, we're in the redneck blind. Jacob's in his long johns. I have my boots off. We're stripped down. I was like, this is fucking great. But then we didn't see any deer. I'm like, okay, this isn't that great. And then the cold front came in. And just as Jacob always does, it was the last day.
Wasn't my fault. The cold front came in the last day.
It was the last minutes of the last evening of the last day.
I think it was the last 2 minutes.
5:33, right?
I can't remember now. It was the last
shooting light was
2 or 3 minutes.
5:35 or 5:36, and you got it at 5:33. But so it was good I had that camera because I did get the kill on camera. Mm-hmm. Now it was dark. The sun was, and it was overcast that day too. So it was already more dark than it was days prior. And so yeah.
There'd be other days during that week where it would be last light, but we're like, oh, it's actually pretty decently bright out. Like it's clear skies. That last day it was overcast. It was dark.
Yeah.
It was like really dark. And that was one thing I'll say too. I had my 30-06 that I now sold. It's gone now. But 30-06 with Leupold VX 5 HD on it. And I couldn't see the buck like at all when he came out. Like I couldn't see him. Like we were sitting there. Actually, let's back up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into this. I do want to say I could see the buck really well after I went into my scope. So that VX5 HD really did transmit a lot of light. It made it if I didn't have that scope, if I had a cheaper scope, I wouldn't have shot that deer.
Go Loopold.
So great job on Loopold scopes because the light transition was awesome. I got to be careful because I'm shaking this shit.
I know. I keep glancing at it. I was hoping you'd get my drift, and I'm like,
I know I'm trying, but I also want to be comfortable, Ashley. Okay.
You do you.
So
the editor will take care of it in post.
Thanks. But basically, we didn't see a whole lot until the last day. So let's go and walk through that because I want you to tell the story because, well.
Yeah. So we kept going back to this ground blind, just a pop-up ground blind, right? Yep.
So we kept going back to that because Peanut was seeing a lot of bucks there.
There was that
in the middle of the night. There's one really old one. He's like, this one's old as shit. He's not going to score with the fuck, but he's really, really, really tall. Main beams and, short tined, but old ass deer. And he's like, there's that deer and there's a couple other old bucks and there's a couple big bucks. Like
you saw the one on the neighbors.
And the neighbor's buck, like
that one was.
He was a
I never got to see him.
He was an absolute fucking mega giant. He was.
Yeah.
So and I saw him with the naked eye. His antlers from the naked eye from like 700-800 yards away. I'm like, that's a giant. And he was just on the other side of the neighbors, like 700-800 yards away. I'm like, he could come over.
While I'm thinking of this, it was such a good laugh because we had obviously told Mike and Peanut about this deer on the neighbors, like hoping he would come over. And you'll see it in the videos, but like there was this opening. And so I got good footage of deer over there, not that deer, but it was cow pasture. Mm-hmm. And so the very last day, we went out in the morning and nothing. And we were supposed to drive back the next day on Sunday because Jacob had to go back to work Monday. I actually didn't have anything till Tuesday work-wise. And so it was in the cards that maybe we'd stay longer, but I really didn't want to. I'm like, that's going to fuck up our whole schedule. And so
it was pushing it. I had to get back to work and I was like, I could, my
Charlie's
boss
waiting
is
on us
pretty
to get
understanding.
back.
I could tell him that I'm just not going to come to work that day. And, it'd be fine.
Yeah. So Mike knew, and, I can't imagine what it's like being an outfitter or a guide. And you're getting down to the last wire. Like, I feel like it's got to be more pressure than for the hunter.
I think so.
Yeah. So, it's like we're trying to decide where to go. And, those decisions were made. And so we're sitting there. We went back out after lunch, sitting there, cameras are going. And all of a sudden, in that cow pasture out on the neighbors, there's this truck that we start seeing bombing around. Yeah. And I'm like, Jacob, there's a truck. I had my good lens on my camera, and so I was using it like a scope. And so I'm zoomed in. You're like, what? And you start looking over there, and you're like, yeah, it is. And it's like kind of being weird, like what it's doing. And I'm like, you don't think like Mike's over there trying to push this deer to you? You're like, I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't know what they do here.
Well, he was on the road, and then the truck came from the road into the property. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? This is crazy.
So we're watching them for a while, and I was like, there's just no way. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And it was funny because we're watching them, and I was filming them too, and you see them actually get out, but then look over at our blind. And it's pretty, how far do you think it is, just to give some context?
400-ish yards away.
Okay.
It is a long rectangle property we're on, right? So the short side of the rectangle is where they're at, off to our left. And it's like maybe 400-ish yards to the fence line.
So then it appears as though they see us and they're kind of like, whoop, oh shit, and get back in and leave or whatever.
They were driving around and it was kind of getting close to like prime time.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty close. I'm like,
is somebody out there pushing?
I thought they were just trying to come down and look and see what was on our side of the fence, Yeah. But like pushing. I'm like, okay, well, at first I thought, I'm like, oh, they're just going to go check the cattle and do that kind of thing. Then they kept driving around. I'm like, what the fuck? And then they got on the fence line and they were looking our direction. And I think they did see our orange and they're like, oh, okay, let's just keep going. But I think they were checking the feeder. I think they wanted to see if deer were coming out on Peanut's side and wanted to see what was out there, Yeah.
That was just kind of funny because it had been dead out there for us the entire day, and we're in this ground blind, and it was decently cold that day. I remember the morning I was getting.
It was chilly.
Yeah,
it was chilly in the morning.
I was getting borderline, like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was starting to get really cold actually. Like the next day, if we were to stay the next day, it was going to be a high of like single digits, I think. I think it was going to be a high of 6 or something like that, if I remember right.
Would have been pretty miserable.
Yeah, it would have been.
But, and that's another thing with Mike. He set me up. Oh my gosh. So not only did I have every layer that I own, but like in the course of 2 or 3 mornings, as it was getting colder, he'd come out and be like, well, you can use this. He gave me the electronic hand warmers he had. He had this old school Huntworth mitt that you put your hands in the front. What do you call those? A muff?
Yeah, it's like a quarterback muff.
Yeah, it was an old school Huntworth one, which was really cool, obviously, because we love Huntworth. And it had a warmer in it, and then I also had hand warmers in it. And then he had these giant Flintstone-looking boot cover booties that were just ridiculous.
They're Arctic Shield.
They were so
covers.
Great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, me getting set up once we got in the blind, it was just ridiculous, everything I had. But whatever, that's what kept me out there. So, yeah, I guess we lead into the evening, and we're getting closer and closer. And all week, and let me just say, like, I never pictured myself going out on hunts like this, especially like a 6-day hunt, especially in the cold, just sitting in blinds. Like, I've been very spoiled with the hunts I've gotten a privilege to go on with you in Africa, in fucking France. Like, come on.
Yeah. In Africa, we sat in blinds a lot the first time. There were some long days of sitting.
But I saw African animals.
Well, not only just seeing African animals, but there's a lot of animals to see, but also it was warm.
Yes. I was in tank top and shorts.
Yeah.
And I had snacks and beer. I mean, it was just...
It's much different.
I'm so fucking spoiled, and I've been very blessed in the hunts we've got to go on. But this one was more, raw and...
It's your North American guided whitetail hunt.
Yeah.
You're going to go sit for a long time. You're going to be cold. You're not going to have a lot of amenities.
I was a little nervous, but I mean, that was some of the most fun I think we've had together is the hunts we've gone on. And this one was no different. It was a lot of fun. I mean, there was a couple days where it was dead and, we just talked for hours and hours and talked about all these crazy things. You sit out there and you got
life goals.
Yeah, we just, so that was really fun.
When I get all money, we're going to build a fucking corn maze. We're going to make millions. We're going to be zillionaires at the end of this trip.
Business ideas. So that was a lot of fun to do with you. Even though I was a little nervous because I don't want to be a hindrance. I know I'm spoiled in the sense of I don't want to be cold and stuff. So anyways, day 6, but all week, I kind of was we'd get towards the end of the hunt, and I never really wanted to pack up early. I was big on just it only takes 1 minute, a deer can come out the last minute to shoot light. And so, with the camera and the tripods, everything still had set up. So that was kind of my thing I kept saying all week. And then we're getting to the last, 15 minutes of the last day. And I had the camera set up on the tripod, and about every probably 4 or 5 minutes, I was changing my settings on it because it was getting darker and darker. And I didn't, I still had it in my head. I'm like, this could happen. That thought hadn't given up in my mind.
We're down to the last 5 minutes of legal basically right now.
And I kept changing it. And again, I had my lens. I had my longer lens I can zoom farther on, and I was using it like a scope, and I just had it zoomed in on the feeder. So it wasn't a lot of space around the feeder. And otherwise I couldn't see because it was dark out, and it was, how far was the feeder from the blind?
166 yards.
Yeah, you already said that. And so I couldn't see anything. So, Jacob's glass in the area to the left of us.
Well, real quick, let's back up because you did a really smart thing there too. Because you're like, well, I got plenty of battery life and plenty of SD cards. We haven't seen anything. So it was the last 30 minutes of light, and you're like, I'm just gonna hit record and just leave it recording the last 30 minutes of light. Yeah,
I forgot I did that. Good on me. Yeah, because I hadn't filmed much that day either.
Yeah,
so I think I had 3 charged batteries.
We had full SD cards, full batteries. You're like, fuck, I'm just gonna let it run. Yeah,
so I had it on. And another reason I did, because we had the GoPro on too, but another reason I had my main camera on is because when it's recording, it shows me the true zoom, but if I'm not recording, it'll zoom in farther.
Yeah, it's like a faux zoom. I don't know what it is.
It's weird, and I kept asking ChatGPT about it, and it explained it, and I don't know how to reiterate what it told me. So that was another reason why I wanted it on record.
I think it's like a digital zoom. When you're doing the recording with the lens, it's the lens zoom, and then you do it crop it out and do it like a digital zoom, but it can't record in that setting.
Right. So I wanted to see, because I didn't want to have it zoomed all the way in, not recording, and then be like, oh shit, and then go to record and I'm like not seeing everything because I had some other settings on. So anyways, that's one of the reasons I had it on. But also, I had all charged batteries and empty SD cards because I had dumped them all. And so it was already recording, and I'm just sitting there staring at the screen. I'm all fucking bundled up looking like an Eskimo.
And I'm glassing off to the left, like you said.
And I'm sitting to the right of Jacob, and all of a sudden I fucking see it in the camera come in. And I knew right away, I was like, it's a fucking buck. So I'm just like, I tap Jacob, I'm like, buck. And you hear it in the video.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And I had you mic'd up too. Yeah. I had both of us mic'd up actually. And so, you get to hear that whole thing go through. And Jacob's like, I don't know. Is it, is it the shooter? And you're like, I can't tell. And then you look through your scope and.
Well, he had his head down feeding.
And
I'm like, fuck, I can't see what he is.
It felt like forever before you decided to shoot, when in reality it was about, 20, 30 seconds probably.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't edited that video yet.
But I was looking at my phone too, so I look down, I look at my phone, I'm like,
what time
all right,
is
we got 2 minutes. I gotta make this decision like right now. And I'm looking through my scope, I'm like, fuck, I don't know. He's feeding. He has his head down, not coming up from the feed. I'm like really nervous about what he is and everything else. I'm so like shocked that there's a buck out there, and I'm looking at him and I'm just not seeing what I want to see. I'm like, it looks like a big body. I'm like, I could tell he had a big body on him. Like it was like a 55-gallon drum on legs. It looked like, I'm like, really big body. I'm like, I just can't tell what he is antler wise or what the fuck's going on. And they picked his head up and I'm like, oh, he's tall. Like he's really tall antlered. I couldn't see him very well. But I'm like, it's the old one. It's the really ancient. It's the ancient one. I'm like, it's him. So I'm like, fuck, I want to shoot him. Yeah.
And then you ask, because we should have discussed it. I remember thinking about it earlier when we weren't talking, when we hit a lull, because we talk for a long time and then it get quiet. Eat a protein bar. Yeah. Maybe take a little snooze, whatever. And but I remember thinking like we should have a code. Well, we did talk about it. I'm like, we should have a code, and you're like, I'll just ask you, are you on them?
Yeah.
Well, we need before our next hunt, we need to come with something else, because we kept making these funny excuses on the days prior why we didn't get a buck. One day we forgot our ear pro. Another day, one of us forgot the ear pro. Another day, we kept forgetting stuff. I'm like, well, that's why we didn't get one today. God wants to protect our ears. Like, we forgot the ear pro, whatever it was. So at this point, we had everything we needed. And I went ahead and put my earbuds in. And my eyes were so fucking locked on the camera because I have fucked up some kill shots. I don't have any fantastic ones from all the kills we've had. Either I didn't have the opportunity from where you shot them from, or it was a camera issue, or I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I was and it was dark, so I already knew, like, if this turns out at all, like, good on me, because it's dark as fuck out right now, and it's far away. And so I had it in, and I'm just, like, clenched on, to the camera. Well, I had it on tripod, but I'm just, like, honed in on it. And so I'm like, I'm just going to throw my thumb up. And so if he asks me if I'm good in recording, because I don't think you knew that I was already recording, did you?
No, you said you were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you told me.
So I'm sitting there with my thumb up, and apparently you hear it in the video. I couldn't hear it because he's whispering and I had ear pro in. And he's like, you on him? And I never say anything because I'm just sitting there with my thumb up, like, staring at the camera.
The thing is, like, I'm looking through the scope. I'm looking at him. Like, I'm not going to pull my head off the scope and look at you to be like, are you on him? I'm just going to stare at him, and when you say yes.
So I just need to, like, squeeze you or something.
You just need to say it. You just need to say yeah.
I couldn't hear you. I had ear pro in.
Oh, gotcha.
We don't want to be yelling out there.
No, but we can whisper.
My worst fear is that I'm going to be the reason an animal leaves.
Are you on him? And then you obviously didn't hear that.
No.
So, okay.
So I need to, like, squeeze you, or like 2 taps. Well, we need to come up with something.
Touch me necessarily if I'm on the gun. I don't want you to touch me and, like.
No, just a little, like, just my pointer finger. I'll just, like, touch you. You'll know. You'll know from the touch.
Or you can just say it. Just whisper.
Yeah, how are we supposed to hear it?
You don't need to yell. You can just say, I'm on him.
You'll be able to hear it?
Yeah, because I don't wear ear pro.
You weren't wearing your ear pro?
No, I forgot to put them on.
Jacob Charles.
Whatever.
Anyways, and so, I got the kill shot on camera. It's dark, but it's there. Right away when we got back, I got the SD card out, put it in the laptop, and I was like, fuck, yes, we got it. But
when I was on him, I was looking at him, he picked his head up, and I'm like, okay, I think that's him. So that's when I asked, are you on him? And she didn't say anything. I'm like, fuck it. So the thing with me, I'm like, okay, I'm doing my job. She's doing her job. If she doesn't get on, if she's not on him, then it is what it is. I'm still going to do my job as the hunter.
We're not
I'm just going to do it. So I get on him. I'm like, are you on him? And then she didn't say anything. So I'm like, fuck it. And he has head up. He's quartering to me, almost head on, almost fully frontal. He's quartering to a little bit. So I put it on just inside of his shoulder. So I'm like, I want to hit basically right next to the point of the shoulder because it's, he's quartering so hard where I just want to go through as much as I possibly can. So I put it on him, and I'm watching him, and I'm going through my process, take the safety off, and I squeeze it off. And right when I squeeze it off, like it's just, it's so dark that it's just fire came out of the front of the barrel. I'm like, fuck. Like, that was really bright. Like, in the daytime, it's not that bright. Yeah. So I'm like, shit. So right when I shot, I seen him run off, and I'm like, I don't know if that was a good shot or not because it was dark and he didn't drop, and I was hoping he'd just drop, and I hoping I'd hit something where he would just drop in his place. So I'm like, immediately I'm like questioning. I'm like, fuck, I don't know. It did the same thing in France when when I took that last road deer, really, really dark.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to make those shots.
Right.
Those are really hard shots because you get on them in the scope, and you're pretty positive you're in that right spot, but you just can't see everything around you, so you can't see him run off and see how he's reacting. So you don't get that reaction because you can tell a lot from a deer after you hit him off the reaction if it's a good hit, a bad hit, or if you completely missed. When it's that dark, when it's so close to last light, you don't see that reaction. You don't see where they go. You don't see how they react to the shot. So you're just kind of like, fuck, I don't know nothing. I'm like, if I miss that shot, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
Yeah, and it was so exciting for me. I was just like, holy shit. And this is already like, we were sitting there that last evening, and of course we spent time on our phones and everything like that. I spent a lot of time on Pinterest, but for the most part, it's like, spend a lot of time just not being on a device and just being in your own thoughts. And I know you talk about it a lot, like you connect in nature and like it, it's very peaceful and everything. And I felt that a lot on this hunt, and just with you and I too. It was just like, we just had no distractions around us, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And so, awesome. As soon as you shot and everything, I swear you could hear it in my mic. I mean, my heart was thumping as much as it was when I killed my impala in Africa. Like, I felt all the things. And then, of course, the panic sets in because I realized you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, and you're like, I got to call Mike. And
I was just freaking out. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I need to call Mike. I need to do something. I don't know. And looking back on it, I was like, I shouldn't have called Mike. I should just let him drive up. And because it's so close to dark, I should just let him drive up. That would be sweet. I don't think so because I liked asking him later, which I don't know if I was filming or not. But I asked him, I'm like, how exciting is it for you? Because he was close by because he knew he was picking us up soon. Like, how exciting is, and we never called him at the end of the hunt. We just text him or, back and forth. Hey, I'm coming to get you. Up. I'm like, what is it like when, as the guide on the last evening of the last day to get a phone, like all of a sudden your phone starts, his little flip phone starts ringing. And, how exciting. It's like, oh yeah, it's, something happened. And so, well, and as a hunter, he's a hunter. He's a longtime hunter, obviously. And everyone knows that it's like, if you're out hunting, you get a call when it's even close to shooting hours. You're like, something your heart kind of seems to beat. You're like, fuck, he got something. Like, even when Matt calls me during hunting season, I know he's out hunting, and he'll call me, and it's not dark yet. I'll be like, oh fuck, he got something. They're like, did you get something?
No.
All right. What do you want then?
So then Mike rolls up, and
it's very exciting. That phone call is very exciting. Yeah. So I'm actually glad I did it now that I'm thinking about it. So
yeah. And then we recover it. He's old as shit, and it's awesome, and the recovery's great, and we went back and we fucking partied and podcasted. Yeah, no, it was great. We did the recovery, called Peanut, and he got out there, and we recovered it all together. Had a great time. There was no blood at the shot, which I wasn't expecting any. So after walking in a little ways, I was looking around the feeder, and I was working my way towards the timber from the feeder, kind of going back and forth, kind of grid searching a little bit just for blood, and trying to be really
like trying to really pay attention. Mike, he went off because usually someone's on like trying to be honed in on the blood trail. If you have another guy, he's more of like eyes up and looking around and maybe just doing a little bit of spot checking. He goes and jumps in the timber and he's like, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, did you find him? Like, I thought maybe you saw the deer. He's like, nope, I got blood. I'm like, oh, okay. So I get down to him. Then we end up, we all walk through there and we blood trail. Blood trail is actually really good.
Yeah.
Got all the way down in there and then found him. And yeah, he's a great buck. Doesn't score high. Like, he's not a high scoring deer, but his rack is so cool. Like
it's so dark.
It's so dark.
I love
his one side is really thick, like super heavy mass. And it's a really cool character because he's such an old buck. And he's just a huge body.
Big.
Huge body deer.
Have you posted the picture of him hanging next to you?
No.
We should post that or maybe even use it as the cover art for this.
You go. Yeah,
because when it was hanging and Jacob's like kind of comparing, he's like, see how big he is? I was like, go stand next to him because everyone knows Jacob's not a small guy. He's a fucking big dude. And so that is a good comparison because still the deer looks fucking massive.
Right. And I refuse to do those like some people take pictures of them laying down next to an animal and it's like over top of them. I'm like, that's fucking stupid and lame weird. And dumb. And I can't stand it. I hate it when people do those pictures. And I'm not like a big stickler on it. If you want to take pictures, however you want to take pictures, like go for it. I just, that one for some reason, I just don't like it. So I won't do it. But like hanging, I'm like, that's classic.
Yeah, old school.
It's old school, classic, like picture, like standing next to your deer while it's hanging. Like that's cool. Kind of like a truck bed picture.
Yeah.
Like I like a good truck bed picture. I also like a good deer hanging next to the hunter
just
picture. Like that's
school.
Cool. But yeah, he's a giant bodied buck. Really old. Peanut said he's at least 6 years old. Yeah. I'm thinking he's probably 7, 8 years old.
And they didn't have this one on camera.
No, he's a new buck.
Yeah, this wasn't the one we were that we had seen on camera, and we're like, oh, hopefully he comes in. Like this was, so that's what was just another element to how cool this hunt was. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so Peanut comes out. He's got the kill bottle whiskey, and you guys ended up making me take one too. And it was so like one thing I appreciated too when we were loading the deer up in the truck, and I'm actually filming when it happens, and Peanut just kind of subtly like points up at the back of his truck and he's like says something like see, and I zoom in on it and it's the working class sticker, you can't kill big bucks if your wife sucks.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like a good like funny finish, and I'm like, yeah, like this, yeah, I've always been on the stance of
not sucking.
I can't get along with women who hate on their husbands for hunting. It's not my clique. It's not my thing. We have dumb shit. We have way dumber shit that we waste our time on that isn't therapeutic.
We as in women or we as in people?
We as women.
Oh, yeah.
That isn't therapeutic, that isn't being out in nature, that isn't providing any type of food, and that probably even costs more money than hunting.
Oh, yeah. Like video games and football, and it's like that's literally good for nothing.
There's stuff that I just wouldn't deal with, like as a wife that other wives may bitch about with hobbies and stuff like that. If you spent the amount of time on video games that you did hunting, this conversation probably wouldn't be happening. But like
you fucking meanie.
I'm sorry, it's fucking lame.
That's my hobby.
The amount of time that you dedicate to hunting, I can have a respect for.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. I agree.
Okay, good. Don't fight me on this one because
I do. No, don't get me wrong. I do like to play video games here and there.
Yeah,
they're fun.
You probably play a total of 5 hours a year?
Yeah, probably.
That's okay. That's probably what I
played 0 this year so far, but I hooked the Xbox up just in case I get a hankering.
Well, because Charlie wanted to play.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But
so, yeah, you'll never find me on that train about bitching. Of course, there's times where it's inconvenient, that plans need to, we're trying to make a decision of whose plans change. The plans that we had made that involve other people or hunting, like
no, take that back.
What?
It's never plans that we made during hunting season. It's plans that you made.
Christmas is something
correct.
I planned.
Yeah.
With your family.
Uh-huh.
Because that
it's not just Christmas. It's Halloween parties. It's all the other things too.
Okay, hang on. I'm talking you up right now.
No, I know. I know. No, you're doing great, and I appreciate it, and I love you. But I just want to iterate, like I don't ever make plans during hunting season.
Well, Christmas
But
isn't
I'm glad you do. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying like the Wii thing. I don't plan them.
Jacob, you can't say that about your family's Christmas. Because you tried pulling that one year that you were coming to Christmas.
No, it's not. No, I didn't. I was going to go after dark.
Exactly. And it started at like 3.
So if I made the plans, they'd all be after dark. That's all I'm saying. That's why it's not a
okay,
I
think my build-up is done now.
Oh, wow. No, it's like, I'm just saying, like, it's just like, I just want to make sure we correct the record on that, that's all.
That's, whatever you got to tell yourself. Sure.
It's not telling myself, it's telling the listeners. I just want to make sure they know that I'm not the one making plans during hunting season.
You guys know.
But yeah, no, I do appreciate that. I really do, because you are a lot easier to work with than a lot of other women, that sounds like. But it's a healthy hobby.
Very.
Bringing in healthy meat to the family, healthy for your mental health. It's just a mentally healthy hobby, and it does take up the majority of my time outside of like, during the fall and winter. And I love it, and it keeps me busy throughout the year and stuff too, like planning and stuff like that. Yeah. And getting you into hunting and stuff like that is really great, because you're not big into hunting itself right now.
No.
But you're really into filming, and that works great, because I like the hunting part.
Yeah. Well, and it was really cool.
Some other hunting couples, they're like fighting to go out hunting.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have to do that. It's like, I'm hunting and you're with me. It's great. And you like to record and do that thing, which is double happy. Everyone's happy and great.
Well, that's like another thing, like, obviously we've killed together before. This is our first whitetail hunt together.
Our first North American hunt, period, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you didn't even count turkey hunt with me yet, have you?
No.
Yeah. So, yeah. First whitetail,
North American. Still getting that, like, now that I've experienced a good, like, buck fever, taking my own animals, still getting that with you and, like, with your special person, too. Like, I mean, it's, like I said, almost equally, if not more exciting than doing it yourself from the 2 times I've done it. It's like, this is still great. Like, you're both putting in the work. You're both putting in the time. You're together. It's more of a, you get really good quality time together that in the regular grind of life, when's the last time we had 10 hours interrupted together? When we're sleeping?
Yeah, vacation.
If we get 10 hours of sleep, you know what I mean?
Otherwise, like, vacations. Other vacations is pretty much about it. But even then, it's like we're doing things.
You're doing stuff.
Yeah, the uninterrupted, like, peaceful time is...
I never got annoyed with you.
Never really gets there.
I don't think you got annoyed with me.
Thanks. No, I didn't.
I mean, I probably complained a little about being cold.
That's
there was
fine,
one
though.
day where we were waiting to go back to lunch. And I'm like, does Mike text you? It was like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
I was cold.
Yeah, I was cold as shit that day.
And then it got like 10:30. I was like, will you please text Mike? And you're like, no, I can't text him first. I look like a pussy. Like, he's got to tell me. I'm like, he said if we want to leave early, just text him. You're like, I can't. And then he ended up texting like 10 minutes later. I was like, thank fucking God. Because I was really cold. I don't think I packed enough either. I think that was one of the first mornings it was colder.
Well, it was one of those mornings. It was.
Oh, my hot hands weren't working.
Yeah, that too. But it's like the high. It was going to be pretty, like, fairly decent, like, that day. But the morning was like really cold.
Yeah.
So it just didn't. But it never. Actually, no, I lied, because it stayed pretty much cold that day. I don't know what it was, but yeah, you didn't pack appropriately at all.
Yeah, I was pretty cold that morning, and I'm like trying not to bitch, but that was fucking.
I was really cold too, and I was like, jeez. Like, actually, the next day is when I started busting out the insulated rubber boots. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with these Crispies for this season. I think I gotta wear my rubbers. But
yeah,
no, you did great. I think I would say, like, especially for being such a bitch in the cold, you fucking toughed it out.
Thank you. It took a lot of effort.
And you did a very good job not complaining that much. And just so you know, like, whenever you were bitching about being cold, I was also very cold. I just bitch in my head. I'm just used to not saying things, so I just bitch in my head about everything.
Yeah.
But in my head, though, I'm like, fuck me, I'm dying. But I just didn't say it because...
Yeah.
I don't know, years in the Army or years being out hunting by myself where... Why bitch out loud? No one's here to hear me.
I know.
So then I just bitch my head.
I tell you sometimes, I'm like, will you complain more, please? So I feel like I'm not such a complainer.
Yeah, like when I'm sore from the gym,
Yeah,
like
that's mainly what it's
I don't
about.
ever complain about it, but then you're like, I'm so fucking sore.
I'm like, aren't
Aren't you
you?
sore? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm sore. Like, why don't you fucking say it? Why don't you talk about being sore?
Because I feel like I'm complaining so much because, like, if I'm really sore from the gym and, you know, every time I get up from the couch or bed or anything, I'm groaning. I'm like, oh, you know, if I've sat for more than 10 minutes at a time. I'm like, aren't you? Yeah. Well, fucking show it a little. So I'm not alone here.
I was just like, you know, complaining is like one of those things where I'm like, damn, what comes from it kind of thing. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like, you know, I guess I get it on your end where it's like, if you're going to complain, you don't want to seem like a bitch. So it's like, complain with me a little bit.
Don't act so tough.
Yeah. It's not that I act tough. I'm really not like tough. It's just, I just keep it in my head. In my head, I'm a huge bitch.
That's mentally tough. That's being mentally tough, keeping it in your head.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I complain in my head a lot about things, people, stuff hurting.
So yeah, we don't have any other hunts on the books right now.
No, I think next year we don't have anything really planned besides Iowa, and I think we're going to go to Indiana possibly to hunt with Big Time Joe.
Oh yeah.
But that's
I
it.
remember we talked about. Yeah.
I don't want to have a bunch of stuff planned next year. I want to do like whitetails back at home and focus on that. Take some time off for whitetail season back at home. Take some time off to go out to Indiana, you know. But
I still want to
actually job hack. I'm just gonna like. I talked to my boss about this, and I think I'm gonna start doing this next year. I talked about it, and he's totally for it. He's like, "Yeah, that sounds great." Instead of taking off like a bunch of time for whitetails back at home, I asked him, like, can I just like either come in late or take off early, depending, like just plumb it in there, like during basically all of hunting season, like October through November, like can I just like do half days essentially? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I mean, that's way easier than you taking off like a week at a time or, you know, more. It's like, that'd be great. Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. So basically we did the math, and instead of 40 hours, it's like I could come into work, 2 or 3 hours late every day during hunting season. That'd be pretty nice.
And that'd be easier for us too. Just home life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So either go and work late or get off early.
Yeah. And I mean, we can just talk about it too. I'm hoping that.
Can we talk about it?
I don't see why not. Right. So I got to explain something. I don't often get into this because it's kind of long and drawn out and a little bit confusing. So I'll try and sum it up. So we talk about how I'm a cop. So I am a reserve deputy sheriff. So what that means is and it means, my mic?
Just a little bit. There you go.
It means different things for different counties. When I was in training and I trained with other deputy reserves, I mean, our roles were sometimes polar opposites. So it can range anywhere from, if you're a reserve deputy, and I'm sure depending on statewide or different states too. But what it can be is there's a saying like $1 a year. It's a volunteer position. You do not get a gun. You don't ever drive a squad. And you're there basically for fairs, funerals, events, concerts. You are hired security by the county, basically. Mm-hmm. That's how, it's kind of been explained to me.
And those kinds of reserve cops are essentially just like, I just want to be involved. Yeah. I just want to be involved. It's volunteer, maybe kind of like volunteer firefighter, but in the law enforcement side. Yeah. Or whether you're trying to like become a full-time cop, or you're trying to get your foot in the door, something like that.
See what it's like, Yeah. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. So the way our county does it is we do everything the full-time guys do. We go through much more training than like the volunteer. And with the volunteer position, the thing is like $1 a year, because a lot of times it's not paid.
Yeah, and they don't do really any training.
They can do $1 a year. Yeah, they don't get a gun. There is no firearm training. There's no qualifications. So
real quick, so with you, like you had a few months of training. A couple months of like basically
to get through all my certifications training. It took me 8
months
because I didn't go to an academy. So the way our department does it is if you're hired as a reserve, you are a part-time deputy, you are PRN. Mm-hmm. And so what that means is when the full-time guys take vacation, sick days, time off, we need more people,
you cover down.
You were covered.
Mm-hmm.
I work solo. From if I work a second shift for the first 4 hours, I'm the only deputy on in the whole entire county. Like, we are given that, that role, and we are paid a lot more than $1 a year too.
Yeah.
And so
it's an actual hourly paid position.
Not near as much as the full-time guys. It's a fraction of it, but
still, like, you're entrusted with the safety of the county.
Yes.
So you have a lot more training, and the only thing you can't do that you're not authorized to do is OWIs, right?
Yeah. So there's really it's something weird in the Iowa code. So I can do felony arrests. I've done them. I can do search warrants. I've done them. We can do all these things. But the one thing it's written in the Iowa code is that we cannot do OWIs. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't do everything leading up to the testing, the field sobriety testing of the OWI. I just have to call one of the other guys. They have to run them in the fields. The arrest and everything, I mean, that's still my investigation.
You can still arrest on their field testing.
Well, technically, the charges go under the guy that has to do the field sobriety testing.
Gotcha.
That's just kind of whatever. But
technicalities.
Yeah. So, I've been given a really, and I don't know how common it is. I haven't looked at polls or statistics. But from the training I went to with the other reserve deputies, it seems kind of few and far between for the counties that do this. It's definitely for the smaller ones as well. And we are a smaller county. We have 7 full-time guys, including the sheriff. So I am hitting, will this year be 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I got hired as a reserve, I had to do these weekend modules. We had an academy that's actually closed now, just closed last year.
So sad.
It is really sad. But we had an academy that was out through a community college about an hour and a half from us. And so I would go 1 weekend a month, and I had to do that. I had 8 modules. So it was 8 weekends I had to complete. And then per my sheriff, I had to do all the firearms qualifications, defensive tactics, taser, all the things. And so it was what?
Oh, it's just all the things. It's just made me think of something really funny.
Go ahead.
In my head. No, it's an inside joke between Justine and I.
Well, say it. She'll listen.
Her husband, Zach, like he gets kind of a hard time sometimes for being a stickler about like joking around and jokey jokes. And he's like, there's some funny songs that we're listening to and stuff like that. And he just was not having any of it because he takes music very seriously. And he's just like, listen, I like jokes and all the things, but this is not funny. So it's just like whenever I hear like all the things, like, and all the things, like it's kind of a common-ish phrase, I guess, but it just takes me back to him and him trying to be serious. Then him saying that, we all just burst out, start laughing at him, essentially, and now it's a running joke between us. Like, I think, listen, I like jokes and all the things, but this is serious stuff.
I just think of all the small things.
Blink-182.
I'll take your hand. You're right, best friend.
Something else.
I'll be. Anyways.
Yeah. So you like you can do all the things and
it took me 8 months total to get all my certification. I had to do like 200 hours FTO with the full-time guys.
200?
200.
Jeez, that's a lot of fucking FTO.
Yeah, so that's me on the road either riding with them and then, towards the end of it, once I started getting the grasp of things, them riding with me and just kind of being there for questions. So it's like I had my own makeshift pick and choose like academy type thing. Like I had to do all the qualifications.
Not really pick and choose. It's broken up, right? That's what you're saying. It's all broken up.
The department picked and chose. Like you need to be certified in this if you're going to work reserve for us.
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I mean?
So you did, it was kind of pick and choose.
Because reserve is so broad in Iowa.
So it's really up to the department on how much training they want to put you through.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to they know what role they put us in. You are solo. You are out there doing the same job as the full-time guys, just not the same frequency or amount. So
you need to know DT. You need to know all these things.
Yes, and
you need to qualify with your gun and everything.
We have a wonderful sheriff, and our safety is such a priority of his. So he knows where he's sending me out to and the possibilities, and so he wants me to be, with whatever situation I find myself in on the road, he wants me to be successful and safe in. So yeah, it was and I've talked about a lot of the training that I've done. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people know, like, I'm not full time. I am a reserve deputy. So that's where there's been a lot of things I've missed, like deer and beer, because I'm working. I still work PRN in our jail as well. And that's because there hasn't been a full-time position. So I have this mix of jail and patrol that I do. So back up, what, year and a half? Are we 2 years now? About a year and a half.
Almost, yeah.
It was election time. And so in our county, we have 7 full-time guys, like I said, and positions are rare. We have a very solid department. People don't leave unless they retire usually. And so positions coming open are...
Keyword usually. The last deputy to leave. Well...
Yeah, you know, there's the...
Yeah, he went to prison instead, so...
That's a story for a different time. Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. But
anyways,
primarily...
usually they retire.
Yes, and so our sheriff has done a few terms, and it was kind of one of those things with the year and a half ago when the term came. I was like, is he going to retire? Because then there'll be a position open. Mm-hmm. At that point, I'm like, you know, almost 2 years in, I'm like, yes, like I want to go for it, and there'll be a full time. And then he announced that he was going to run for another term, and we have a wonderful sheriff, and he's a phenomenal boss and mentor and all the things. But
really good in the community.
But I was bummed.
He's got the whole community's respect.
Yes, absolutely. And he took a chance on me. He's, you know, in my board interview that I had with him and a couple of the other deputies, I asked him, because there's never been a female in our county before, in the department. And I asked why, and he
basically, bitches suck.
No. He would never say anything like that.
Besides you.
He said nobody's passed. And I was like, because I had heard all the reasons why. You know, old school. I had heard all these rumors as to why there was never a female.
That kind of stuff.
And he's just like, nobody's ever passed like what they need to pass. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that clears that up for me. But he also took a chance on me. I came in with no firearm training, no DT training. I came in a blank slate. And one of the things I told them, too, is I said, I'm not coming in with any habits, because I have none. I am a fresh, teachable sponge.
I'm wet clay. Mold me, boss.
Pretty much. And I kind of promised them that I know I don't come with knowledge, but I will try my best to absorb and learn as fast as I can and, make you guys proud, basically. So, that's always going to be really special to me that he believed me, he saw it in me, and he took a chance on me and poured, into a reserve everything he did. And so when he announced that he was running for another term, I mean, I was bummed. I was happy for him. He's
Not
a great
really.
boss, but
because you want him to retire and have fun, and be like, enjoy your retirement kind of thing.
And he's a big hunter.
Yeah.
And he hunts a lot. And so,
but
that took away the opportunity for a full-time position in my mind, I'm like, it's going to be another 4 years.
At least.
And, I was just kind of in the mindset where I'm like, yeah, like I want to do this full time, but I don't know where life will be. And I'm not one, I kind of like to take things in strides. And I'm not going to say, yep, in 4 years when that position comes open, because he will retire in 4 years. That's what I'm thinking at the time. I was like, I don't know. I'll see what happens. Because I've gotten, there's been so many times where I try and plan what's going to happen, and you just can't do that.
Well, it's hard to plan around other people's plans because you never know what they're going to do until they do it. So
well, and I didn't know where we'd be at in life, and we'd talked about it so many times. I didn't make that short. Yeah. So to sum it all up.
So basically, I want to say one thing, and it's a really nice saying that I think a lot of people would find some help in, but it's like a thing that we'd always say is like, I'll believe it when I'm on the bird, basically. Because before deployments, stuff like that, you always hear chirping. It's like, oh, we're going to deploy this time. We're going to do this. We're going to go here. We're going to go there. And it's like, I'll believe it when I'm on the bird, or I'll believe it when I'm on the way, kind of thing.
Right.
So like, with you, it's like, yeah, I'll cross that bridge when it comes. That's the other saying. Yeah. I'll cross that bridge when it comes.
That kind of always sounds a little negative, I guess. Like, well,
yeah, I'll figure it out then. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's future actually problems. So you don't want to plan for something that you don't know is going to happen. So.
And I've always been very happy with where I'm at because I have a lot of flexibility. I can go to France. I can go to South Africa because I am in 2 different positions, PRN. yeah, there's times where I need to work. They need me. I'm on call and I can't attend things I'd like to.
But you're not scheduled.
But for, 90% of the time, I can schedule however I want.
Yeah, because you're not scheduled by anyone else other than yourself. They're like, hey, here's the holes, fill them in. And you get to kind of pick. It's a little bit different than being a full-time and being like Monday through Friday, this time to this time.
Right. Yeah. So, it's public now in our county. And so our sheriff announced that he is ending his term early. He's at the 2-year mark. So as of June 1, he will be retiring. So then as of June 1, there is going to be a full-time position coming open. And I am going to go for it. I had to take about a day because I was not expecting this. And it is a huge commitment. I mean, I'm going to go from, full flexibility of the hours I choose and what I'm able to dedicate to the podcast and editing and trips and all of that. It's going to change a lot. It would change a lot of things. So as far as I know, as of right now, the position should open up when he retires, which will be June 1st of this year. And so I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for a full-time position. And we'll see. I'm going to have really good competition. I'm going to be going up, I know, against certified guys. I will probably be going up against guys I know that have, full-time positions now, have more experience than I do, have more certification than I do. But God dang it, I'm going for it and I'm hopeful.
But you know what you have that they don't have?
What?
A vagina. So that's good. You got it.
Why do you have to word it like that? In other words, what you mean is that I am the only female in the department and females come in handy quite a bit when it comes to law enforcement and the community.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to say.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And
he's like, I got a clam. I don't give a damn.
I don't want it because of that though.
I know. I'm just joking. I had to make it funny. I had to make it funny is all. I'm not trying to denigrate your position as a law enforcement officer.
Look at you getting all serious now. You're like,
yeah. Some people say women shouldn't be cops.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think there's a time and place because just like in the military, there's a time and place for women. I don't think they should be infantry, but I don't think they should be in the army, And it's like there is a good place for women. They could be a huge asset to either law enforcement departments, it's like women just are different. Men and women are different, and you can build rapport with different people a hell of a lot easier than men can. And, searching women is, you can actually search them. So it's like there's just a lot of pros to having a woman that is in the department somewhere, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of pros.
But you do have to meet the standard.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pros, and I mean, I'm not going to ignore them. I'm going to bring them up, of course, but there's cons too. And I like to bring those up too, and how I'm aware of them. I'm not going to sit there and be like, I am as good and as capable as we have different strengths and different weaknesses. And I've always been, very open about my feelings on that. But yeah, when it comes to the standards, so I hear this on a Monday evening. I come home, I'm like, Jacob. And, my head's just kind of spinning all night. And I at that point, I was like, I don't know. I got to wrap my head around it all because, so to add to this, it's not just going for this position and becoming full-time. If I were to, be given this opportunity to go full-time, if they were to hire me, again, I am only there should be a special consideration. We've talked about this, but I will have to then go to the academy and I'll have to go for 4 months. Although I'm certified in everything I'm certified in, it really doesn't mean shit if you have a full-time role. Because
you're not. You need to be. So it's a different verification. You have to be ILEA certified or something like that, and you're not ILEA certified
for the reserve program.
That's so crazy.
They don't. The reserve program taught me what it taught me, but everything else that I've learned isn't mainly from my department.
Right.
All of my firearms, all of, we did a little bit of DT in the reserve program, but So
you're going there to check boxes, which you're going to be doing.
Yeah, and it's a 4-month box, and so obviously that's something to take into consideration.
It's a long
too.
box.
It's a long. It's 16 weeks at the academy. Your brother's there right now, which is really awesome because I've gotten to talk with him, and
God rest his soul.
I have a whole list of questions I still got to ask him. So, so I come home and I'm just going through all the thoughts in my head and what it would mean if I were to get it, if I was offered it. And so then the very next day I'm like, well, I need to go run the PT test. I need to see where I'm at because episode that comes out tomorrow, which will already be out when this airs, Jeremy Bond and you talk about women in the infantry and the PT standards. And you mentioned in there that like my goal isn't my age of female PT minimum. Mm-hmm. That's not my goal. My goal, so the way the PT test is it goes by gender and it goes by age. Mm-hmm. I'm fucking old enough now that I fall in the second age group, 30 to 39. And there's the male stats and then the female stats. And prior, when I took the PT test, my goal was the male standard on it. I didn't reach it, but I did better than the female one. And that was my goal.
That was your goal. So
if I would have had longer, I didn't have long enough. Mm-hmm. When I decided I was going to apply for it I got what I could out of that time, mm-hmm. and I made leaps and bounds. But this one I have plenty of time. So, I went and did the PT test with myself to see where I was at. And I've done it a couple times since then. And yeah, my goal is the male standard 20 to 29 is the lowest stats they have on there, and I'd like to
the highest standard, the hardest standard.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And I'd like to be able to do that or better, and I'm pretty close.
You're right there. I mean, you're like right there. Like, and you haven't trained. You haven't been training that hard. You go to the gym and stuff like that, like I do, and everything else. But
I found out last week.
Well, PT tests are a different animal. It's like it's just a different animal. You have to do a PT test to get good at PT tests. Essentially, I think. But you have plenty of time. I think you're going to have absolutely no issues getting up there, and it's like meeting that standard is going to be, pretty easy for you, which is crazy because it's not like very easy for some people. It seems like for a lot of people actually. So
it wasn't
like,
for me when I started. It was quite the fucking mountain to climb.
Yeah, but it's like it's an open standard. Like everyone knows it. So it's like you think that if you wanted to be a cop for long, people would become more prepared, but. It seems like when they open up positions, there's a lot of people that just roll off the couch like, fuck it, I'll just go try to be a cop. Like, wipe the Cheeto dust off their shirt and go take a PT test and fail miserably. And it's like, then you have other people that are like, I really want to be a cop. But then they just can't stop. They just can't like mentally put themselves into contention. So it's like, I think you have a really good shot, obviously, as being in the department, also being pretty physically fit and being able to shoot. Well, you scored expert last time you shot, so I'm like, you're gonna have competition, but like,
I'm very hopeful, and I'm very
you got good odds.
I'm confident.
You need to be,
and I know that's you need that, you need the confidence, and when it comes to the standards, because I was there when you and Jeremy Bond were recording, and I don't ever want, if I were to get this position, if I would be so blessed. I don't ever want anybody, including myself, to be able to say, well, I got it. I passed my PT because I had more leeway because I was under the female age 30 to 39. Mm-hmm. And I did technically beat that 21-year-old because his run time was 2 minutes shorter than mine. Mm-hmm. I don't want that. I don't want that.
You don't want to have
the standard should be the standard. I don't think there should be male and female. And I honestly don't even think there should be an age group. If you're going to be a fucking cop, I think there should be a PT standard that you pass or you fail.
I say that about the Army too, in the military. There shouldn't be any asterisks to your employment.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. Is a good way to put it.
But I also think you should have to pass the PT test every year as law enforcement. Hell yeah. And that's basically unheard of anywhere.
Do perps, do they not run? After it's like why even have a PT standard if you're not going to adhere to the standard the whole time you're employed in that position? Mm-hmm. Why even have it? Why even make recruits pass a PT standard if you're not going to uphold it the entire time? That makes no sense to even have one.
And I will say this: And I'm very, very confident in this statement. I would encourage anybody to challenge me on this. The only people who have differing opinions about that are people in law enforcement that cannot pass it right now.
Right.
The ones that can agree.
Same about military standards. Like when Pete Hegseth was, they're grilling him about females in the military and stuff like that. He's like, there's going to be one standard, and it's the Army standard, the military standard, Army standard, Marine standard, Navy standard, whatever it is. And some fucking bozo from Hawaii is like,
oh yeah, that one bitch.
A lot of women can't even do a pull-up. How can you make them adhere to a standard that's like really hard for the vast majority of women? And he's like, that's the point, dumbass.
Yeah.
If you can't make the standard, then you don't deserve to be in that position.
No.
And it's just like, obviously I said my piece already. I'm not going to get into the military stuff. That comes out. That's already, you should have already listened to that. Mm-hmm. If you haven't, go back and listen to it because I make my point pretty fucking clear. But as far as cops go, it's like, I get that you're not going to be rucking fucking 40 pounds for 20 kilometers into a mountain area and set up an observation point. I get that. Like the military and being a police officer are completely different things. But like if you're going to have a standard, then it doesn't matter. Like the perps don't care. The enemy doesn't care. Like they don't care. So if you're going to have a standard, like why have a flexible standard? That makes zero sense.
Yeah. And when it comes to me being a female in law enforcement and the things that I can do that males can't, when it comes to, searching females or maybe rapport with children or women, whatever it may be, I want that to be looked at as a skill like any person could have a skill. I don't want it to be looked at because she's a female and we need a female. It's kind of like,
DEI hires. You don't want to be a DEI hire.
Right. I don't want to, what's that called?
Equal opportunity?
No.
Affirmative action?
No, I can't think right about it.
It's because,
yeah, I don't want that because they're trying to, and we don't have a department like that. But I wouldn't ever want to be hired because they're trying to be inclusive.
Yeah, DEI.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, diversity, something inclusivity.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have no fucking interest in that.
No.
And that's not why, and that's why I hold myself to the standards that I, try to. And I don't want to ever look back if I were to get this and anybody, including myself, because I am my own worst critic, be like, well, yeah, that, 24-year-old that would have been a really good candidate went over his run by 10 seconds and maybe he could have been better than me or anything like that, but he didn't get it for 10 seconds. But I had 2 extra minutes. 2. Because let me
you're saying like if you pass the female standard,
right,
and then you have a 24-year-old that fails by 10 seconds, you still are 2 minutes slower than him. Like he's done and he failed and he's watching you still run for 2 more minutes and be like, this fucking bitch is gonna and then she's gonna go off to do the post test and all this shit and I have to go home and cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the run standard, didn't you say like a mile and a half is like,
let me pull it up.
Okay.
Because
it is kind of in the Army it's ridiculous too. Like it's the female standard.
Believe it.
The female standard and the male standard is completely ridiculous.
Okay. So push-ups. So the PT test is push-ups, sit-ups, run. 3 elements.
Same for the Army when I was in.
So there's age categories. So for push-up standard for 20 to 29-year-old male, 29 push-ups.
Which is pretty easy.
Female, 15. Okay, bump it up to my age group.
So men are double. I know. I'm just go work like.
Bump it up to my age group. Males, 30 to 39. It goes from 29 push-ups to 24. Females have to do 11. 11. Now, rewind all the way back to me trying to do the PT test. I couldn't do 1.
Right. When you first started.
But
when
guess
you first
what?
decided you want to do this.
Right. I decided this is what I need. I need to be able to do this. First off, I was embarrassed the fact that I couldn't even do 1 anyways. But yeah, it's like, and then, okay, so then you go to the sit-ups, for males, ages 20 to 29, 38, female 32.
Not that big of a difference
No, sit-ups isn't. My age For male, 35, female, 25. 10 less. That's a big fucking difference.
That's
and this
noticeable.
is all within a minute. This is all within a minute. And then the run. You have to do a 1.5 mile run. So my age group, 30 to 39, males have to run it in 13:36. Females have 3 seconds shy of 16 minutes.
Damn.
16 minutes to run a 1.5 miles. Now, I will say, I'll toot my horn a little.
Long as shit.
I've never, prior to training for my first PT test, I had never ran a 1.5 miles in my life. And I was not in good shape. Mm-hmm. Wasn't going to the gym, regular, nothing.
What's the male standard? You said 13?
For my age, 13:36.
Okay.
Males 20 to 29, 12:51. So at the time when I took the PT test, my standard was 15:26 compared to 12:51 for males. And I passed by the skin of my teeth, but that was the first 1.5 miles I'd done in my entire life. And so, yeah, I don't want to go in there with, say there's a 25-year-old guy. He's going to get hired somewhere else. He's going to be a great cop. But he runs a 13-minute 1.5 miles. Mm-hmm. He fails. He's done. He can't go to interviews. He can't go to post-test. I have 16 minutes to run that same 1.5 miles.
You can watch your ass fucking run for 3 whole minutes and pass
and
be happy about it while he's failed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It doesn't sit well with me. I'm not saying that's how everybody should feel, but maybe you should.
Yeah, you should.
Consider feeling that way.
You know what's crazy is the female standard for the run is 15. You said what? 15?
15:57. Basically 16 minutes.
The male standard in the Army is a 2 mile in 15:15.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree with male female standards. If we're gonna be equality and all that shit, it's like it's not.
Right.
But I also don't believe in equality, so
I don't either.
I don't think men and women are equals in the fact that we can do everything the same.
Problem.
I'm not equal to you on certain things, and you're not equal to me on certain things. It's like it's just the way it is. It's fucking nature.
And a big problem, with people is they lump in all this stuff. You and I, we should be equal in respect, 100%.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know, but that's where they
100%.
They make this big hodgepodge
Yes.
of all these things, and it's like, hang on, some of those you need to pick out because those don't all match. They shouldn't all go in the same pot,
right?
For this equality soup you're trying to make. Here.
No, equality, you're absolutely 100%. Thank you for correcting me on that. I do believe in equality. Equal respect. Not equal opportunity, not equal standards, not equal that, or no, I do believe in equal standards. When you're trying to be a female in a male job, then you should meet the male standard, yes. But what I'm saying is, like, men and women are very different, but yes, we should be equal in respect. Like, that's 100% true. I do believe in that, obviously.
And it's unfortunate, just like males,
like
there's...
okay, I wasn't done with that thought. Like in your job, like when you do get hired into a male-dominated job, they should treat you the same. You know what I mean? Like equal respect, all that stuff. You should be treated the same as, they shouldn't just like, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Or what? You smirked. You smirked a little bit.
Because that's not the way. Yeah, sure. Great.
I'm talking about like pay, and I'm not talking about like personal. Like if they want to talk and like that, like talking shit or whatever else, like that's going to vary,
Yeah, got it.
But I'm talking like when it comes like you should be treated the same as they shouldn't hire you and be like, okay, well, oh, you have your period, maybe take a week off every month. You shouldn't be treated differently.
No.
Just because you're a woman is what I'm getting at. Because in the Army, they do. When we're out in the field, women go back to take showers. Men don't. Men stay out in the fucking field.
What?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. Like, you should be treated the same.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh,
like, I'm not saying like, all that personal shit. I'm saying like, you're going to enter that field. It's like, you need to stay in the fucking field. Like, you shouldn't get a week off due to your menstrual cycle just because you're a woman. You shouldn't get, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. And, I've said it a million times and I'll say it forever. It's like I work for such a great department and it's full of mentors.
Yeah.
For as small as it is, especially, I've been very fortunate in the mentors that I've had and all of it, and the opportunities and the mentors that I have had, they'll like almost seek out those opportunities where I could probably thrive better than if they took it on. They're like, go do that, you know, whether it's climbing in a small hole that maybe I'll fit in better, or it's, you know, an interview with a female or an interview with a male even that just, you know, doesn't like either of the fuckers that just arrested him and doesn't want to see their faces, but maybe he responds better to females, you know, whatever it may be. So I've been so fortunate to have so many of those opportunities to, you know, play that gender role difference in the department's favor.
Correct. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. You accentuate your strengths as a woman to
like, yeah,
be
let's
an
use
asset.
It. You know, sometimes we grab one guy because, you know, well, this arrest may lead to a fight to the ground, and he's the best at it. You're taking the front lead here, you know.
Yeah, once he gets his arms behind his back, you can cuff him. How about that?
You know, everybody has their strengths, and so yeah. Again, I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of mentors where they seek out those opportunities for me as a female, or even they also just trust me with. If there isn't a gender role in play. Hey, we're booting in this door. You're second on the stack. I know you've got my back.
You should man up and we're going to do this thing. And you're like, hell yeah.
You know, and
I scored 90 fucking 9 or 100 on my last qual. I'm good to go. Put me in, coach. I'm good to go.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm very hopeful. I'm very excited. I'm very confident, but I'm very realistic as this process will start for me.
Before we get off, I do want you to break down kind of what you've noticed. Like, I guess as far as like just to say like generalizing, like if you're a good female cop or good female law enforcement officer, it's like what strengths, like men obviously we're bigger, stronger, faster than women. It's just kind of the way it is. The physicality is much different between men and women. What do you think women are better at when it comes to law enforcement than men would be?
Sexual assault cases. Juveniles.
Yeah, a lot of like victim, like.
I mean, let's lean in to the female role. A nurturer. A listener. Definitely that. First comes to mind. Those are probably the biggest, most obvious things. If a woman's been assaulted, she doesn't want to talk to a big, strong man. Usually. That
usually resembles the assaulter.
Right.
Yeah.
Not on the realm of that type of thing. Maybe we're just on the side of the road and things are escalating. Not everybody, but we've talked about this in just general. Just totally generalizing males.
Yeah, we want to say general. We don't want to pick out names and all that stuff. So just completely generalizing.
I've met so many men that are phenomenal communicators, and they can de-escalate situations just like that. We have, you know, women in general are very good at communicating, and that can lead into de-escalation. And maybe, you know, something that, you know, I'm thinking about the side of the road, and I've had situations where I'm on the side of the road and I've got, you know, a vehicle with 1, 2, 3 individuals, and I know that this can take a turn really quick. I can tell by the attitude this driver's already given me. I can already, you know, I've got all the indicators going on. And basically, I need to talk my way until I've got some backup here to not escalate this, or somebody's already fucking escalated and maybe reeling it back in. Women are stronger in general at communicating. I
will agree 100% on that, yes.
And maybe this plays a factor too. Maybe the fuse is shorter with males who know that they can just lay this guy out anytime they want. I don't have that option.
Oh, you're talking about like the confidence of like a perp, you'd say? Like, or what do you mean?
Like, if you're in law enforcement and you're on the side of the road and this guy starts spouting off at you, fuck you, this, that, get the fuck out of here, I'm leaving this. You know that you can carry your own in that situation.
Yeah.
I'm left with what I have, which is my voice and my tools. And I don't want to go to my tools. I avoid that at all costs.
Classic case of David and Goliath.
Right.
Some would say.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. David can't take him with a sword and shield, but he could take him with the slingshot.
Okay, yeah, my slingshot's my words.
Exactly.
But now on the flip side of that, I've had situations where I'm the last fucking person that somebody wants to talk to, and one of the guys need to come in. Sometimes on the complete flip side, females want nothing to do with me as another female. I'm a fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of my face. You know, I'm escalating the situation by being a female. It just depends.
I would say you're 100% accurate in the fact that women are generally better at like victim navigation and like just communication in general, just because men, I mean, we're good at communicating. We're good at like lecturing, being assertive, and being like my way to the highway kind of thing. Women are a lot more, generally speaking, a lot more understanding and like communicative.
Yes.
With men, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Like, I'm not going to fucking sit here and let some motherfucker talk to me in a certain way when I'm like, I have the law on my side and size and strength and knowledge and fighting skill. Like
you might give up on the communication way before.
I would. I'd just be like, no, dude. All right, you're listening to me now. Hands behind your back. You don't want to put your hands behind your back? Now we're going physical because I'm fucking sick of this shit.
And I mean...
Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
And guess which looks better in court?
Talking.
Exhausting all options.
100%.
Now, let me. This is another thing when it comes to like the victims thing. I've experienced it, so it's kind of one of those. It was an eye opener for me. When it comes to domestic violence, you know, typically we think battered woman, female or male offender, right? So you show up to a call and you have a male and he has just been beaten and battered by a female. Do you think, you know, as that male, it'd be easier to tell a male officer about that or a female?
Fuck no. Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with that. And so I don't know how it would have been otherwise. I can't speak on that. But I would like to think that, you know, yeah, just that gender role difference there.
Do you think, like, especially in that specific instance, because I will say domestic violence cases for like women on men domestics, statistically across the country have been going up, and the opposite have been going down. Obviously, men still commit more domestic violence cases than women, but it's been slowly like starting to shift a little bit. I think it's because women think they can get away with it because they're a woman, and as a man, if I was a cop and, you know, a dude, you know, scratches on his face, some markings and shit like that, and the woman's like, but he threw me against the wall and this, that, and the other, I'd be like, well, I'm just naturally going to believe the woman more than the man. As a woman, do you think you'd navigate that differently and be like, all right, as a woman, I can see through your fucking bullshit and that none of that really happened, and like just kind of reading people a little bit differently than men do?
I think that probably plays into another thing. Now, again, this is just generalization. There's plenty of men that are better at this than some females, but being observant, noticing like small things. I don't know, like
I think it's
yeah. Like I noticed something
different things.
Yeah, like just I notice things in the kitchen after cleaning it that you don't.
And I also notice things that you don't ever notice, but it's just different things.
It's just different. So yeah, in those situations, I think that maybe you will observe things like if the you know, the domestic dispute isn't the typical, you know, male against female, you might observe things. It's like, well, I know if I was pinned against a wall and my arms were where you said yours were, I wouldn't be, you know, like that type of thing, or size difference. So, and I think that, and sometimes it doesn't work out well because the women don't want to communicate with the woman because she's going to be like, she's going to call bullshit on what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I start talking to that male officer about my vagina and this and that, they're going to, You know, and I'm not saying that's all, but just, you know, what might go through a woman's mind who maybe committed a criminal offense in a domestic manner.
I'm on my period. I'm like, hey, she's got you, buddy. She's got you.
Well, you know, just those details. But other than that, I mean, I don't think I have a whole lot more up to offer. And I think
that's really good.
I don't like to like make it this big thing like, oh, we can do so, like every agency needs a female. They don't.
No.
And if you are a female that gets hired into an agency, like, don't be one of those fucking broads, just like with the guys that make, like the one cop that makes all the cops look bad. Don't be the one female that makes all the females look bad. Because it happens a lot, unfortunately. And I'll never, you know, I can't stand to see where it's like, well, you need a female because this. No, you fucking don't. This department lasted how many fucking years without one, and it can go on for how many more and double that without one. You don't need me.
Love that you said that. And that makes so much sense. I never actually looked at it that way, but it makes so much sense. And it sounds completely, that's one thing. Men and women are different. If I said that stuff, it'd make me sound like a fucking sexist. And you saying it, like, it's just, you're just being observant. You're absolutely right. Like, women don't need to be in law enforcement in order to be upheld.
No.
But as long as you can realize that as a female, a prospective female officer, as long as you realize that and notice where you can fill the holes in, that's how you're going to be a much better asset to the department. And like I said with Jeremy Bond, hopefully you guys went back and listened to that episode already. But make it make sense. Make having women in the infantry make sense to me, because it does not make any sense to me whatsoever. Make it make sense with women being law enforcement, because there was a time where I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. But after you becoming one and talking with you, and you do a very good job explaining it, where it's like, okay, I can see that. That makes total sense. Great. Cool. Like, I'm on board. Like, you just have to make it make sense in certain situations. Like, yeah, absolutely. Women don't need to be. But if you can figure out a way to make yourself an asset as a woman, because you do have disadvantages, but you also have advantages, and you need to lean into those advantages and exploit them and make yourself an asset to the team.
And don't be
fucking... You've done a great job. From it sounds like, I'm not working with you, obviously, but from it sounds like...
Yeah, I hope I am an asset, and that's always my goal. And, you know, yeah, it's like, females, don't go in with a big fucking head. They don't need you. You're helpful, so be helpful. And never get too big of a head, because, you know, I know where I fit into these situations. And, you know, I work with all males, and there's a couple that I work with primarily because of the shifts that we work. And one in particular, we always kind of joke about it. We get called to domestics together, and we figured out, like, you know, kind of how, you know, go dynamic on it. Like, you know, we kind of have figured out, well, I'm best at this, you're best at that. And if I were to go in there alone, or he were to go in there alone, it wouldn't go as smooth. You know, it's a good dynamic to have. And so lean on your strengths, accept your weaknesses, and don't puff your chest at them. Yeah. Like, my DT will never come close to most of the people I work with. It won't. But guess what? I'm going to try and, you know, do what I can to be as helpful. We recently had a really good defensive tactics training. The whole department did. And one of my big questions is, you know, they're run. And it's very jiu-jitsu based, of course, because most fights go to the ground. And we've got a couple guys that are very proficient in jiu-jitsu, and so are the instructors. And so my big question I had was, okay, so you're teaching this, and, you know, you've got the perp and you're trying to get them to the ground. I'm backup. I show up now and they're on the ground. Where can I be helpful? You know, is it legs? Is it head? Is it where? You know, what should I be going for first? And they were great at breaking it down, but, like, I feel like that's the idea you've kind of got to have, and just, you know, not get too big of a head. Where can I be helpful? Because a lot of the stuff that escalates in law enforcement is physical. It's not it's not off. We're not taking long range shots at people and we're going all, it's usually on the ground. It's on the side of the road. It's in a car. And so if I want to be helpful. Mm-hmm. If I'm the one it's happening to from the rip and my backup shows up and he takes over, yeah, I don't want to be the screaming bitch in the background. I want to be helpful. Where can I help to, make this end as fast as it can or be a success or whatever it may be. So yeah.
And if you guys are stacking up on a search warrant and you get told like cover the backside, you're not gonna be like, I'm one of the guys. Put me in, coach, kind of thing. It's like if they put you in, they put you in. You need to be able to do it. But at the same time, like if they're like, "Hey, cover the back," because like we're kicking down the doors of the Hell's Angels right now, and there's a bunch of pissed off meth heads in there. Like,
makes sense to me. I'll be in the back.
Yeah, right. They go, okay, sounds good, boss. Yeah,
It's just I don't know. I've heard so many times, like, and I've probably even said it a little in one way where it's like, well, women have less ego than men. It's like, well. As a woman, if you make it in law enforcement, make sure you're checking your ego at the fucking door. Don't be trying to fill Don't be wanting that second in the stack when you can't fill those boots.
I don't think
Where are you helpful? True. Are you helpful on that stack?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you more helpful in the back?
Mm-hmm.
Watching the back entrance with a rifle. Where are you most helpful? And be okay with that if it's not the fucking top dog spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
I also don't think that's true. I think women have just as much ego as men. It's just different.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
They do. But just like men, check it at the fucking door.
100%.
Yep. It's like...
Yeah.
So, yeah. There was one time we were gearing up for a search warrant and I got told I was getting put on the front door stack. I'm like, excuse me?
Are you sure, guys?
Yep. And this was the funniest thing because I didn't know. And I was the only one that didn't know. He's like, yeah, you're going to carry the fire hydrant.
The extinguisher.
Or the fire extinguisher. And I'm like, what?
I just picture you with a fire hydrant now. Okay.
Like, what? And I'm like, is he joking? Like, is this some joke I don't get? And I'm like, stigma. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, are you fucking with me here?
Why?
Like, I'm in the back, right? No, you're going to have the fire extinguisher. I'm like, are we expecting to set fire to this house? What is the plan of attack here? Because I'm obviously missing a component. Well, there was dogs in the house that were known to be pretty vicious. And, contrary to some people's beliefs, we don't like to fucking shoot dogs. We're all dog lovers, at least in my department. We're not fucking shooting dogs. And
just the ATF. They like to shoot dogs.
Ugh. And so I got educated pretty quick. And nobody knew I didn't know that fire extinguishers are great for deterring dogs because, if they're ready to attack, you fucking blast them with it. It's not harmful to them. It fucks up their nose for a minute, and then you can get them. Mm-hmm. It's so we don't have to fucking shoot them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just funny because I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? I know I don't belong on the stack. I belong in the back, covering the back entrance, with either my pistol or my rifle. And so yeah, I was on the stack. I had my fucking fire extinguisher, and the dog was very nice. Her name, well, I know the dog's name was Chloe, and she kenneled just fine. I didn't have to extinguish her, but she was a big German Shepherd.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's good. I appreciate it. This has been good. I think we solved a lot of the world's issues actually in this episode.
I think so too. I feel good about it.
I feel really good about it. Well, awesome. Thanks for listening, everyone. And
till next
thanks
time.
for sitting down with me, Ashley, finally, after all these days and weeks and months.
Hopefully it won't be as long next time.